Area abusiafo ema munyina ha makwaba edeba neat 100.9 FM so eye me 19 wasugu a wutie no yedo asese wie wode wafidie no ato ha ye kai wo se na eye benada e proposal me atoso num ye bo ye koye ni mo ankakran ye bedu enne eye the 95th day of the year 2022 na just na eye fie 2022 no edimu nefo aduokono enum 95 days. They say akaya 270 days na ye de afeno akogo. Eye o say wachiri wa hu. Eni achiri kra. Obeka to wani atena ba. Enti ade bi ho no na wo se wo ya no ahwe no aye ne yie. Enti ene ya aka 270 days is oda so kate asefo ho moja di afusane wo mu na techerema da bodwe mu a odofo me so se obeda nyame ase wate so wotimi sori na wotimi kasa keka ho koba eya dumbi mroso na ebi aso so wate episo obi wo ho no mu a wada ade a che ne de na nso ontimi nkasa ontimi nidi ontimi nante ontimi nyahwe ye ka asam kire na wonte eti wo se wasotimi ti asam wani hu na de wo hwene etimi hwia de se ebon se ehwam nyina ya faseda manyame wate episo obi pese de wo wanya no nsa nka eti wanya ne se ya na wo de aseda amotwedi amponyankropo na wakai se sebe abrabo no eye afuntuma fra wahu enema bi na mix a mixture of things what you say abrabo no sa na tie enunti ne ye woda ensuo eto ene ye woda owia ebo ai ensuo to a obehu a ensuo ne timete na awia boden den afefom timiru ewu se wese as ensuo bi akra ntoda what you say sa na abrabo no etie ye wo bra emu odin ene ye wo ebra emu ye anya den wisi nkosi awieye ewo mu a emu bego amane ma bafom ama ho han wo kakra ya wo brebo ho no matum say yawdie pa eba left right and center an ebubo sekuturuku no na wo hu ba bia wo fa wotimfa na watoba ha na che say wo tete na wo ha hai eno so wo ho na no entra ho no mo afebo ebedru ba bi ahomegia beba ebedru baabi anigye beba ebedru baabi sire beto wafunu mo amo asere ama home aka ho wate enti sanya situation ni tie bia odofo na wafa ne sa na wasomukua na wasere na odi bi nsuso ayempaibo ya omununkum wo entimi nkata owia so da se oma owia mo ensida mununkum ntimi nkata owia so da sani etie bia mununkum wo ne baabi ne bobre ena owia so e wo ne bobre obia e play the part at the season and at the times na ade ba ko a wasi esua ne se emre mu odin mu no emra emu aye den enieme mu aye den jese wotare ana wai usi ana bu jese wonhunu ba bia wonfa wotimfa unya moa mfiri baabi a sabre ne mo no ene ye de hia bibi sabre ne mo ene ye de hye ye ho den sabre ne mo no ena yetimi edi nyini because emre mu odin na eboaboa yen ede yen wura anamon foforo ede yen wura tebia foforo ede yen koyenim wate ase an meda bia me ka se nyankopon ka kire wo se ade a wo bisa me ho asemi twɛn me mede bema oni beremu na se wunya abotre nya kokuduro enya offense akomatoyemo na wutimi twɛn a at the right time no or the bema no or the man so so a glorious wahu or the mawa ehote or the mawa enimonyam wom or the mawa epagyaw de udrum pempenso bi a wan na nwene po se ubeduru ho wate ase dem say you no fit jump dem say we no go fit jump engineer beboa yen pa ne se bribia yen fa nyampaibo u bom paye no emfa won san hye odam refam na wo ye dwumaden na wo ye dwumaden na wo ye dwumaden na wo gi otwedi aponyankropon edi se bibia ebeye fine Ebuzi Afro production crew aye krado safe na odi wafidi na to hanu ma me kan form asemi 19 waso egu a wutie ye ha eye neat 100.9 FM Joe Odamia do ena ebua me Magjerio Sajima so support yen sanso na frema abankro na Yausafo wo nyina ebo mi chidom awia mi ade dwumade aba Sabe wo hwen live on Facebook so Neat 100.9 FM live and I will YouTube so despite media yeah WhatsApp line no you activating the come 0503721744 bet me do comment messages now they are for hono you becken can come e de amount na me to nkrakese ama akọ ama menua Vida amponsa wo ekofodua wo maame wahwere wo papa ema jesa wo fa yaw mu pa nanso menua eden ya enso mekonim nanso ni nyina mu no basrefo ye ta kan bibisa nyame ne nyame ye eneye na pede nam ne kwan so na senia oye na defa no mepe me ye kom ewo mu eden papa but there be ameka say God knows the reason onyankopon kuto eno nim ne ntia abanesa wate ase ye Afe happy birthday kese panso enko MACOP Kofi Buache na honorable Kojo Opon enkroma ene eye mo awoda sonko sanso na Jojo awo UTV and then so eye wa awoda ye mamu nyina glorious happy birthday sonko Abusuami din ede maame BIAMAH AKWAFO betimi aframe BIAMZI 1 woman gada maame soja ni nyina meje osome na metan dwumadie yi eti atoto ne mama bibia timi akoyie no nan bo a ola Michael ene na bedwafo nso eba bagye akonwa no wagye entata ede yen akofie eti metwa me hotawaba na ye de kanawu abremo tane mu nyina mani tua no ene ye benada kanawu nso so no eya na ye road safety ensem ekwan so Jojo ensem ene ho amanebo ene de eba ye ne mpanyufo ebedi enkomo enti metwa me hotawu me ba pepepa ye kɔ kanawu so
Fubi free se kwan no mo de wonam so na won kasa ne 7 prejudice e bia wo ye jimifo enye jimi na wajimie jai wo mo life ma wo mo no mo mfa mo wo mo bra obi bia obebu kwase na so do be fa kwan bone so no se wotimi nya akokoduro ka wo sisi so se nipa ne ye na oye no wo bo homodi se wo mfi no na wo gya na manyame a wo ma nipa na nkasa wo ne tibua edi na ne ho nto ne wate asefo sa si so da.
Government is broke, but people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Patients are suffering, students are suffering, traders are suffering, pensioners are suffering, drivers are suffering, contractors are suffering, civil servants are suffering, and farmers are suffering, fishermen are suffering, and men are suffering, women are suffering, and children and Ghanaians as a whole are suffering. You can engage in all the propaganda you want, but if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. You will recall that I stated in 2014 that if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. That was true then, and it is true now. You have seen a stability return to the exchange rate. In fact, for the year, the cedi has appreciated in value. When we came in, it was run. We have arrested it. and the IGP has the keys. He's locked it up. We've arrested it. People say that John Mahama is a nice man. Oh yes, he may be a nice man. But he's a nice man who you give the economy. Very soon, you cannot get teacher training allowance. You cannot get nursing training allowance. You cannot pay your children's school fees. You cannot get a job to do. Agriculture will be declining. Electricity prices will be going up. Is this the sort of nice man we want? He may be a nice man, but he's an incompetent nice man. Look at the economic management team. It is quite clearly a fantastic team. Professor Jambafo, Dr. Akotose, Dr. Afriye Akoto, Honorable Alan Chiremanting, Boachi Ejaku, Ken Oforiata, Senior Minister Yao Osafo Mafu. What a solid team. My view and that we should not tax mobile money, because mobile money transactions, a lot of the people who are using these transactions are very poor people.
We are for a brasso can wu and a yade ebano. Munina mani to a second quenchia a dear a sipe or mino, yabeboka, yeboka, yankasses say yaquine essay no, na a cranso so eshe, one more enqua, one more a dear one, I say a d one more dem as so ecahon, and pimpin a ya and penny for any dincomomotai come. And near Maudwa, it may edis unquenchia eba, Yamia Dom National Safety Authority, Yano more iron churchra codum pempens wobia, Womutuana more echo mount for now so drivers, lorry terminals, a would draw echo yen churchre at the ma drivers see is answer. Woman yen churchene evia drivers in the car womo na womuti see an echi, enti aka pu na bro. Yes, drive and decision ben na o make ye at that particular moment. Ye dear ne koso ewo na dwenemo. Empempi mpenyufo ye hwehwemu ama betodwa ese kan kwansia dodo no a ohama bupen aduokunu num 95% ena ye nipa mfom so. Asa mfom so yi sie me ani anta honomo na enkyerkyera hodo ede ma no yetimi etie na sopam dia yadwuma anka ebetimi asia no kra. And it's 95% of road crashes no a human error there. Then ye quine ben ye the drivers. It's true. Ye do one more effaso. Quine ben and ye do one more effaso. Na enkoma ye babetwin. Nyame ya doma yensa aka an independent international road safety auditor, auditor consultant, engineer Kobi Amwa mensa. Yensa ebekana yene no atwetwe enkomo ewa homa so na oni yen afemu ejidi yesasa brei drivers bebre etie yen womo ride motos womo ride pragia ene womo ekeka wo bia ufa kwan ka kwan so bia wo chefa e wo saade we mu ese ye nkyerɛkyerɛ wotimi tie na sopam anye bie kura no baako bi beto wasum a wonam kwan so na ekoto ba bi emu ɔden a saa nkyerɛkyerɛ na wotie ye no ebetimi akyerɛ wo kwan a wobetimi afaso na atimi agye wo ne afofre kan ho no enkwa ebusuafo enya de ketwa na ye ka ne sei no because kan kwanhia yade bi a ehu yie se enkun a edi wudam for the rest of your life nwanwa se nipa ensuo ba nipa dimirika gidigidi won pese ne ho befo wan hu se obi nam nsuom ne nsuo abono na nyese nsuo afa no nsuo abono na sabi wawuo ana se nsuo abono amana didi ana mean ensem bi sa wote but wo de maka amfa wo nkopem na hwɛ ne ho bɛyɛ even the slightest hit kora no wo mfa wo totroto wo na mabɛyɛ wo ya wo obi a wo nya exercise kora de ne wasɛm de bobu wo na mabɛyɛ wo ya ne wo hawo a wo bɛfam no ansa na wo ankasa waba normal no wo bɛto ba bi nka entidi entina bibi a ehu sei no ye ka yentimi ma ye nimmere na yenka na ye me nimmere na yentimi nne so na emmoa yen enti sabre ye kwa ahomaso yensanka engineer Kobi Amoamensa ai ono eye independent international road safety auditor consultant yene no etwenko yeramo a ewie ye mo ha o
William Pacho mejo so
nempom te say
nyame adom boko na pacho so
nyame adom bibia da na kwan mu we de adanroma wiei boko ye bo ekwan so ko jojo ho dawro ene ade na ye hwe a free afi asase from January to March bosume no emu enkwanhia hodo esisi ye me sure say 2021 road safety for ne MTT de no mo ekeka ho nyina bo dawro ahodo arrive alive ne ekeka ho wo mo ye nkyerɛkyerɛ ne ade nanso ye si afefoforo mu no say na wo hu nkwanhia no
I mean, I said medical bonita for member Mabaso and Mujuma Pa Mudie or Quine Suburb, that is road safety issues. So they will say far to Makoma so say Ubashabo Ghana this year home buying. Now me bawa what's the misana so now 2022 Osha accidents no aswana echo. Osha Esran in simple answer, I'm not say the situation is getting worse. Mean who any improvement until we see Busa Yamosa adding. And payment brain crown. You 2 year accidents now AC will crack a city when I here and a radio stations and a media men. Media men and also the media cover. Buying cross any crowd, yeah, any assembly a if we say if we say Sikrana you import na ya record in 2022 media na me the last 3 weeks na me na me bon kontabi na me can say COVID ekugana for your call lockdown but road safety issues accidents na ekugana for more than COVID and I think it would be right to even lock this country down. Lock the drivers down based on accidents. The mechanics will make sure later. But there needs to be a lockdown on drivers. Then we need also and young drivers in Kwana be a AC also. The free baku na eden akomienu. We need to take serious measures. I bet so owo no you be able to say sabi enkoko ewo ka kwan ho aka boy pew
na che say ase road safety enkomo ne nkyerɛkyerɛ ne adesua no enko man fotirim
minia media so ekomu ene ntomu dia minim but in sunsan so ye hu abonten ne de bibia enkyerɛ sɛ dwumadie na ye no yenya ho emfaso na ewo so yenya no I didn't see America. Media metri for Abba Efie. Yaka road safety no. Obi dream say obi. You say what down for? And answer unri about the son no airsia no prince you then esi odi e ho. Ye mu do say na ye kwa yie aye no monfa. Aye wi aye say tuka. Bibi. Obi ani ho odi say wakwa yie a wakọ no monfa no. I don't know about when I can't quench ya. You would say, and I don't form, and I enough for a woo. I acquire year, you trick bassa. and I you moto basa basa because you and answer a human near wu ube na car no ye just baby any car ne fan of crown ye the car nam abusu na for four car to ube hu say e do timoto so mienu miensa pin ni e twa okrom ye nyina ye de ani hu but adien anamo na ye tu fa ho just a pew any part of from answer I think in all honesty you might I said they can but for young professionals professionals we have to take the bull by the horn.
Say ya be den na ade na ewura drivers titru wo mo asum ya be den
minia drivers asum de me ho ne say adru empempenso bia I was we have to solutions now from on any juma. Solutions they go from any juma. I mean, let us appreciate and accept that. We cannot keep doing the same thing again and expect different results. At the end of the same thing, we expect a result. And see, we have to appreciate that bottom line and say, look, solutions they go from any juma. And then let's come round on a round table and have a proper discourse. Young mobile who near was say, "Idea way, we are going to be say, it's a crime by so young for professionals, all the stakeholders, Obiam Rem. Now you but media, idea by Kwame who say road safety. I'm not can't say Jatwa some.
Yeah, as in
Because a Jatwa sama. Minia, no obi. Enfaka emo obi sesi enku no obefre panyi bia ma na bedwa atwa. Hello
asemo metio pa
me say mo obi emumra no enfaka emo obi enya ne fault o de ka bo obi akuno was emra kwan e de first one obedwa atwa panyi bi sesi
a panyi ni so ade akira be pache ho
me see panyi fo no de asechire mo nsa go machi because panyi no when ni akira ye so ye ni paboni ni. This is how the system is. No crown only has something kind of crown or mining. Penino to the baby draining home. Now what the car cobo be. Or rock of friends and the car cobo be when any driver's license. It's a penny, but you need from any room. Penny was idea means to me, Yaminia. What's a penny when it's day? I don't know the social media man, you know, one woman. Meanwhile, so be this shit at the car on the kuno. And see, I'm not where do we want to go? Me paso million paso wo de make am.
Me to ase pa.
Ade na ye ka no obi ti fie. O se on koye driving test. O se on ko DVLA office. Aso so obenya license. Obi tueska obenya license. And si sani pa na o tueska na wenya license no. O de card si kwan so no ko fan ko 420. No ko omo o de konya accident. Me 6 wu afan le ku nipa no. I driver now when in car canal, what's the Fiat license? And I say, officer now, what is Kaguni bottom? Yes, but also remember these are the real issues. Problems where but we keep turning a blind eye. We are turning a blind eye. And only and your back but where is it starting from? Because the current solution is the Enyejuma. Enyejuma. Because Accra Kumasi Road yeka o shanka family and kia good kama anka say yes ya gu kwan su kama e wo say nka to yen chema e sika kwan so no ka so tie
na engineer wogidi yesa akwan a sebe enye papa no na man kwanhia sie me nyi ni sa session no me nyi ntum because me hu emfutu kwan ye monka accident yesi so ma nipa be 10 afamu ahwere wo monkwa me shada hu bi
me no ya adwen pa anyoma e de accident se ba no enya de ba akopɛ road quality I mean the quality of the road no e ya de ba ko a etimi de accident se ba
okay
and driver behavior one a wo twi car no one a watch vehicles no any other road users nam kwan ho any muchika no obia timi the accidents eba ebi ne saying so we are driver or concentrate your kwan so a wuchika we need the whole making sure say we follow regulations na sabio obia or say on onantia o miemi and the phone so betisi wanima obeba trans break the car na kan bata the car ne bebo no
correct
the other way around obi so how your driver o chika no No, I found a phone. Not or send a text message. Saturday way there, so I saw who swear a bit do. We don't have phone a flower, not what off a phone. But I was saying we have to start being responsible. Now who said no? May drive it. Because what do you see from even 2 seconds? Be to be across you. And your road, as you said, no, I agree with you 100%. And your road, and the quality of road, and the accidents, remember. Now, other road users, no drivers, almost see your money, and the accidents, but I said, when my car, let's like a bill, Miss a quine chain at the top, a quine chain at your your man, and also the accidents with bread. So accidents now, a quine chain at their tone, obviously, woman and no be an idea, abono, but you're risky, your life. And I say, me and risky lives on the roadside.
And baby, engineer, nipa be break can church near Mahudwa, a decan quenchia eba. Na report be a making can yen one more can say about 95% of road crashes no a human error. Na just say nipa so and the san quenchia neba. And it say, yeah, we want to say, be to me man quenchia in a moment and from so nipa yen quiet 95%. Then ye was somebody pokwan ben ye befa so a human error factor, you know, ye beti me a deal with.
Not sure that 95%, no, it's right. It's on the higher side. Minimum research for our already here, but 95% is on the higher side. But yeah, when we look at the research, we should see whether the research is Western based or not related to Africa and not Ghana too.
Related to Africa and Ghana to be precise.
Exactly, that's perfect. It's let me patch say a bit about 95 but even be conservative. But acquire me you can say human factors now. I think say me say and I say me one experience show say drivers are one issue. And see drivers say a dear ben in Shishaye. I was seeing who problems now. Drivers are the film. Drivers also no I was say you who said drivers no you mu ahodro be nine and I say enu you were normal your passenger if I say commercial drivers no you were we see light goods vehicles and you were almost so any passengers any enquire. Oh, they are not on China. You will say, one long journey, any short journey. And some about ordinary car users. Yeah, normal drivers. Yeah, and your commercial, as you mean. At the end of the year, and answer information being, and you will see a digu, a quemu, and massa drivers. I would grow away, you know. Every so, Obiani. Information and also obiani India and also obiani entertainer I was here in the film. Yentiminya one solution fits all because I don't know anything and why I was here different solutions, bespoke solutions, and I can't cry at this at the channel and answer information you be go criminal. I don't cry also no. I'll say science wrong because obia or treat a car from Kumasi to Walewale or the BDA or Swabidie from Kumasi to Walewale. Now what should be any of your think East Legon or to car acquire Jumemo the friend is saying Accra Central no or more information at the moment is very different. It's the driver information we need to concentrate on the drivers. That's the one. You drivers at China. Hello?
It's your engineer.
The drivers no so at in China. We also need to also concentrate on our passengers because human behavior, the passengers, no, yet me influence drivers, no, almost sometimes they behave contrary to what a quiet person even behave. Even saying, one passenger, what's a public transport, or no, what one a book, what's a on contem. What passenger ebia ote care mu trotro baby a wonim se car no emi se ejina driver ne ni se haye nyina what me see ya when you so when you know whether I did the summer obedient into no or the ferry and you through no idea no question about these are part of the human factors. Your side is not one chain, your side are not too bad before fra. Yan sign for yan that's the pedestrians. Yeah, pedestrians that's also no. Mestre at year 4. Yeah, who say yes also to me affected say nipa to me affected my accidents about car kwemu. Ebi saying media ma Canada ye ton nyoma wo kwan ho sa nyoma na ye ton wo kwan ho no epian krofo sika kwan enti say ye ne cars no edi pre kwan na ye use no and also so x-ray ye dina kwan ebi ye nam kwan ho no as ye nam kwan no ho no on hwe kwan na all text all the headphones aso and I want them car people are buying pin crowd when you're there. It's and then a month here, I say high tech UV.
And then one
now or the iPods or whatever it's called. What the assistant assume. Oh, background was saying we soon the children and it's not always so. Over you say, I bet now boy and obo to go so what's in our film. There be and then you ma. The way creating accident. We also see a human factor, but me say can we me say the engineers as human beings,
like road engineers,
highway engineers, traffic engineers. You design our knowledge. You need the and the application of the knowledge to give solutions. When these solutions say nimdiana juma. Edi nyoma agu akwan mu se akwan no kwan so brebre ebe kɔ n'anim no se saa nimdeɛ no etochima ananse se enwie pɛ ya ɛno so tumi di nsunsuanso ɔbɔ ne ba ka akwan no so enti human errors no ananse human factors no yɛn engineers no ɔsɛ so gye to mu se baabi wɔ hɔ a yɛso yɛn mfomsoɔ ɛna ɛno so yɛsan no so to nkyɛn no contractors na ɔmo so ɛyɛ adwuma no ɔmo so ɛto de bi so a engineer na na adwuma nyina French mu no contractor no on ship nkrata so enya nyoma tete the engineer so wonye no
because me nim say akwan bi wo ho no mo a wa kra wo menye engineer menye engineer menim kwan mu ayi bia but me nim say ka kwan de say ya ye ne de ko ta tum aguso a e wo say wo fa so ye smooth edema but some of the roads now to me say a highway pa ubedu baby no ase o sa agbaja ka ka ekwan na moa te say de nane no ko ta nane no amoamoa if you want mo kra foforo kra fresh one yaye enso nam so na e wo so say gidigidi ni nyina ye niema bi a menyi di say contractors no wo mo hwe na engineers no wo mo hwe sa niema no so ni akotwa tape mu say ye bia no
minia the all kind of pepe said the music as Neat FM said the mostly kwan so brebre dwumadie said the dama koma so no say enye kasa keke na mo kan radio so mo yem pensen mo ampa the all kind of da hotrodo sa na tie akwan ni bi wo ho a abaya bokase enya kwan no engineer na all share adwuma no so owo assembly bi anase owo pesua bi so no adwuma no won konkonhwe onkonkonhwe enti akwan no yaye nyina yio na so baduru baabi kakra bi no na ho no so de osikan no abobota ntomago a odo ka ne fa odo ka fa so a akwan a yaye no baabu so minsia eda esan tutuo assembly ni na just say eye waste of the taxpayers money na the taxpayer will seek an ya sign I don't need ade kan they told me no say your sign stay no aside the appointment be so asan ba wa kwan. They wasted your money and they are also making the road unsafe for you and your life. It's never show and also media meaning say Neat FM said yeah quite so brother semi ehiamo na Ghana this year ehiamo no meaning say yeah kwa ni mu no mbeto na mo bebre e wo road safety ho ama owo na ba fom
ya famu die bia na de areho ne say ye beyen cheche nyina wie ebintie bi betie eno kra na eduru mpempen so a obi ka se eduru baabia ano odin a was a driver etimi yusu na dwene no ye nim sa situation na no ye beden yetimi ameja sa de no at the point of accident no decisions a driver no ebe make so kwa na wo gina na wo divert na wo yeah what happens ana minim eno dia no ho nkyerɛkyerɛ ne ya yɛnhyɛ dan enye emmen nkɔmafo asomu ana
I na call, but who said road safety? That scenario where I work on, issues not a bit brave. Every scenario, every accident scenario, every accident is peculiar. Accident and the generality, no say we anyway pay me when I know and I pay. But for a new man, it's not accident, listen, and a new man be brave. It's accident behind accident behind any but accident behind the bank accident. And see the American because this one is generally new man. I was saying a new man be a acquire subina M1. I was getting Mrs. Sanya man a business name. Yes, say car bar what TSC free main road I walk see off road. Baby, I carried what you could see sidewalk. Baby, I pedestrians and antenna. One and yet even urban road to say Kumasene and Crime, Ekropomo.
Okay.
Crime tempo so.
Highway so.
Onam so no. Ubemu sa na car. Where free main road no carriageway no XS the crime Kenya baby and Nipanam. And teacher so obi every na for bi na eba and obi upon house or bi na eba obewu. That question no, that issue no, how to prevent that type of accident. The first thing is we making sure so you don't get onto the so free main road.
No more encode sidewalk no more.
Yes. Because the problem is baby the a free main road na sidewalk na say a crime ya no busumi nsia ni baby a ho to buka enti obi an say a ho de uduru ho a ho buka enti obi anya den empese ofa ho enti obeduru no na cars be nwotwe enkono edu atie side lane asemi a make enura me hu bi on Kumasi Accra main road enye bosire muka aya dia wo ho asesi ya kasi nko twa picture mra ye betinya ko twa picture na se ya kasi nfa video a ye ko gina ho a ye be hu se ho eduru aka se nyina free main road no mercy from enti ho no akwan ben so na be fa so ama accident no enye den emma ho bio every say accident ni be si sa abre na maame a onyim any student or a branch where 18 akwan be fa so a react to accident very different
yeah.
And see the information and obi a ya abrewa and also obi a ya kokra and also obi a oti wheelchair mu obi a oti bicycle so obi a oti abobo ya so oti abobo yam otu abobo ya na prag ya onam side no akwa obefa so react to car no very different. So you nkra na upon school no more side no mu car na and as I say a sample for car na because nkra no naturally they will not move in the same direction.
Helter skelter.
Helter skelter. Enti ya wojuma die pa
papa juma die bi da yen so ebi da yen so pa
more than COVID-19.
I'm telling you enye abosirmuka no kretrodo
road safety road accidents e more than COVID-19.
Yeah,
COVID-19 may lucky the whole country down. And it's a COVID-19 to me I lucky the whole country down and we spend billions on this COVID-19. A dear Bentina, road safety na more than COVID-19. No, Sabria Yakasan, I say, or my Munino, Yanina, I
say, say, Bibi Kwaso.
We actually are found, but and I say, for whole crana insurance, so the result that we need, we are not getting. We are not getting the results. As a walkable match, why a training send out 10 prepare. Unprepare. And see, this is the problem. We are strengthening for young Casamunia Jumano. A Jumano, the Moya Biano, a home transformed the Mino.
Now what can be said to say COVID ya lucky young down there na safeway nonka drivers buhon muswa I was here to me lucky warm down. Why many a befa swan casadi ye bit me implementing aye.
Minia, we rocket science. The first thing is that if the authorities decided for the next 3 months, all stations rigorous. Your co stations behind random checks. You know, Young Joe, maybe I mean, Castle be one city, but some can. So the way you're police, you're chua, only license straight away, you're banning for the next 2 years. Road accidents will reduce in this country.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. One gentleman be at the me fan say statement be by oka said the beboa yen pa no over speeding so eka ho bi pa na road accidents no esisie enti say ye betimi ama over speeding no aba fom a anka yemfa alarm system bi emobo cars nyina ho enti the moment a wo be start say wo tu mrika tenta wo ko over speed alarm ni be blow ama whether say car foforo bi di wanim whether say wo hia no ana bibia tesa wan hunu say wo sa aka ya wo koi wo ko over speed na alarm no na be yiwama sa system no would you say the bar e be boa yen
media I mean there are so many solutions to over speeding but I mean yeah say a solution. There are so many different ways of killing the cat. But any say could be like any car thing and you say over speeding, you pesa car be more than 70 kilometers per hour. And you have to be solution engine be able to also saying cry and 70 kilometers per hour.
And no so ho. Yeah, can.
Yes. But no, there are solutions there. All those things, no. But the crack, anything. The crack is the human behavior.
Okay.
It's the human attitude. Se nipa na o take care anymore no. So say o ma engine koda 80 kilometers per hour kra. Na so say obese sana. Obepe kwan a, obekọ magazine, Kumasi magazine, ana bo so kan. Ama ma kwaya de foforo a. No, ono kwan na mu a obeti amana broso. So we need to understand. Say road safety no ehia na yen and then at the end I must be very interesting. My name is or the blessing for she's just 4 years old. Now Otna care, no. Doctor in China one must seatbelt. And I said, please, why are you not wearing your seatbelt? And I'm saying, hey, so road safety no what's happening in
officers not also. National Road Safety Authority almost started be in schools.
Yes.
Into Omugu super.
But almost schools no more starting. The question is it city schools or village or rural schools?
I think government schools. And are both government and private.
Maybe I come in Chrome because me first now for South.
Okay.
Papa no beko. And when you who say road safety for just
and you be an kakra bedru no. Bedru no da chi bi. Yo engineer awie ye bedu ase bebre se waje bre ene ye edisa enkomai ye da se pa. Ebusuafo engineer some you know engineer Kobi Amwa Mensa and what is your name din komai or no or ye Rose or ye independent international road safety auditor consultant and out is here no ekasanto no or ye kwan ni bi na afensu no san etufo wo ye nkyerɛkyerɛ ene ade into ono wafa bibia e de abonabo se ye hu seka nkwanhia eye nipa dodo no a enam nipa eso na eba eti abusuafo se nipa na nam ne so eba ede ne ye beye na nipa nya adwene mu foforo ye nipa timi etie nkyerɛkyerɛ ye de emma no masua bibi afiri mu nipa timi ya research kakra e de afa adwuma na wo ye no drive adwuma na wo ye no obey research de afa ho se bia me ekoduru nkwantanan so se me timi agi akra nkwa ede na menye so hu sani me nyina sometimes so Google a ebe more information series of information a obetimi ahwe so na wo so de ato kotodwem in case se wo kohia bibi saa watimi ehuna na mo a wo beto ye bie telephone lines na to me 0302 243540 and 0302 257 902. Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon, yeah, BIAMAH.
Oh, Onuapenyi Evans. Yemwaha.
Bro, there.
Adama etio.
Nyaba, nyame enshirawo.
Amen.
Oba program efutu aya na odemaye. Emu binom ye fa de kan abrabo.
That's it.
Me bo abaso ne adwuma oye.
That's it.
Bebia engineer adontin will be me bo na baso. Ano me catch road say na bridge say wo motorway ne su ina say.
Yeah.
O programming so me kan nyame adom waye.
E de radias.
Na ewie say o tie mi a Me aba, me no ka se ya na me fi motorway ne so. Obehwe U-turns a wo motorway ne so a ya na ehu.
Unapproved U-turns no.
Oh yes. Na te say police for no betite. Ye sadako ho. Nti utwa ya na omwacho. Am tie ka omo de wo kokota kan ya me ya. Cause e mum panimfo a hihye tuta abobọ tai. Wo mu nim ya wo mu nye. Na omo yesa etimi di accident ba. Na no e ka oni pani twati mu ana. Edu on ti never first me dey start the other lane. This is the best one. The omo chia. Mo from kokot. Na mestre engineer so. This is omo your authority. Da akwani na omo modern say omo besisi.
Yo, omo guso.
Ya ba accident e kosi na no. Ayeye ni pa na. Na me catch you say me ko defensive driving course bi wo back. Accident ni na you over speeding. And then one of the television stations, meaning about me who the whole day. Articulated film there. Na fish, Toyota fish, the Miami Kwanso, Central Region Kwanso. Or they are copying na a sunny na too. Yet try member number womb, to the sport. Let me tell you, na Ubeshano na Obemano, or not Sheffield. Na say me anti-bacon talker, Ashamaha. Many about my drivers I buy no obi aba no nkofa ne license semra okọ mbebio
ya samo
okọ license semra okọ ombebio ya na omuka na goro ni ade wanum na ye san signature me ne ukate me ni aba BIAMAH fasika bra titira me ni license semra wa wanum na ye san signature no nyampa ni fo na tete won
no correct
mo ma ye ina ye sisa ya be na o man no enko so man
yo ye da se yenso ye da se pa onu apanye Evans na ote nenka no ubetime afre 0302243540 243540. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Me ba chodi ni bebe afrefe.
Yes, good afternoon. Yeah, there was no my power here.
Yo, it's you.
Biazi, media Mrs. say, Anajananti na long journey, and almost so high name, or more low name, yada. The Obi or allows a ticket will be so light. If it's about like they need, I feel your man like your kind of man like is still. Oh. And you know, I don't know, Yana, that would we say for no, I have money to say, yeah, would you go on my woman? And say, yes, you'll be a permanent say, on Fanam Pano. If you don't know, let us say, me one of them is here.
Meda Sippy, hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Bachodi baby afrefe. Yo, Nana, it's you.
Musangi, I'm saying. And the highways, yeah, na photos like a said that the moon. Then I am paying for a woman who saw photos as a moon. Many of us, the cook must last week Sunday, Nami Fik Masimba. Yamen be careful. Oh, but I will photo not Dahon so boom as a maba, or do this is all the Asamaso Bremen so. Of course, Mamma Macanyam,
Asamo.
The best threat, paying for photos of your common. Almost sharing with you, I don't see idea. A course accident, the composing, the feeding Miniaba. Then I was going to us.
Meda Sippy, hello. Good afternoon. Me Bachodi ni baby afrefe. Yo, I didn't hear you.
Yo, Meda si wakwenya odi amang. Say accident ni kanede BIAMAH ya kan na say adaba for bebre na asoden papa je say u dunu kwa on diache na mami mi ade ba kwa gazo mi ro na go tu kwa na mo ama ye we izu aye nom e wo mem ha no no
ede aye nom
Ghana Water Company. Treatment na wo mudi menziolo mami enye kanene unze ezio pure water mai na itumi numbi but you see an pipe no mami so go go would ya de kura would ni gba yin this would see one ma sender Maria highway ukoko buzi na wo hu se ipiwu bi se usi wa no wo je izio no ayede akwakọ dati oh here on the pure water for ya ne boye din na so ukichi ni ma ye ni a nyina ga emma edi misro na tu ho na mo ma ye wa
mate ye betu ho na mo ede amamo. Hello, good afternoon.
Fine afternoon, ma'am. Okay.
Ibacho odin ni baby afrefe.
Ibacho efo na mikase.
Efo wezo.
Wezo sister.
Yo, yenko.
Eja agbalo.
Yo.
And then asena odi transi mani dia mami facho road safety funu omo wo bibia omo di ma wana because e ka tuma wuye no ni e ka ni kwa aka road safety funu se de ya omo ma fufu ni transi.
It's for God and country. Why?
One say mami dia ma di ba kwa eye ma refu ni se obi nanti lorry kwa mu na odi fun ase na so ana oye call na se wo a wo ye driver no umia unia se wo ba ben se be onam na bia wo ka ni be kana no no mo didi watem ade na be ka wo di unia se transport what I see e bia mi drive ba bia wo nam no ka be pin sabi no yo wo fa kwa sa sem fi wo oh ta nyama we indiscipline oh ana fe so ade ba ko mi ni se hu ni se that toyin na ye ba ye no anana kufa do ye se ye nya e bi mu sorry so mu mpini se so se Kani say na a transport I say a to I didn't feel main road highway na articulate na say no be their questions here. It is any money in an say say. Because na money be makakra mi no candidate. E yen we anu collect in the break for contest. That 2 weeks for constituency mi say me oniasi na pay boys na only guess no mo constituency na abrewa ni komna ni fa.
Mr. Efo ye list ni nyina na fa ma me why? Na me betena ma bobo mu nyina edi maako nti ye listen no na efa ma me ai mate
constituency woman organizer
okay mate me da CP wo de ye listen fa bre me why wo de ba me bobo mu nyina edi ai minim no pa me da se won so betimi afre 0302243540. Hello
Mami Soja.
Good afternoon pacho di ni baby afrefi
Mami Soja FM na amwako.
Yo na iti yo.
Mami Soja emu abako. Ane za rustic ho adwuma ya. Da bia wa fa to so da bia obo yen kae akwanhia ekoso awo ya kwan so. Da bia me ka che o se eye akwanhia ekoso awo ya kwan so. Emu 99% if it drivers. Mami Soja, da be na wo ti se nkosia ka ate ahweda. Nkosia ka if you bro have their banker, I don't know what the Biafra. And I went the last time I was into the car, I got found to Ouagadougou, another Burkina Faso, I'm a Tiagida. Next time, yeah, driver for now, any pound for a year, yes, it will be a come as a tree of Watson. Yes, pay a wound and temple, traffic tree up. Yes, the other side, roadside also. If you're planning yellow, then I will go, never be yes. If I come out, what was you come, medical bono. The best employer for new city for say, I was a brown a jet with a person's car. Now the car shares many for them, yes, and that's a mean extra. I was saying, you are 10 years, 15 years. I'm not a bar, Mamsuja, Messi Aquentia, a super trick, man.
Mate, me da say. Thank you so much, Nanamo Akomeda pa. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Bajodi ni baby afrefi. Bonzi etio.
Intia me madam for Ben, our general organizer, our Madina. Thank you. Mami, oni, we must say Bibles no, we do or driving yet. Amayenka, the roads no, the road no. And you are me call order. Na contractor be here road or from Asamanka to order. Mami. Road no measurement. Now, o de kona ko hwe that is a idea. The kona ko hwe de o de guso no mami. Is you unu say so e be start at. Me see road no ye no me that down say you start it up mami. E be say aboka wo sa road no hu bi. E be me say Ghana ha no mo no. Yenchi, what you say road contract bida. Enti me yenchi omo because omo nyina ye political enti nchi no. But I said that road it me road within 2 years now road bin na asa say. Ade yen Ghana ye penny for ye say ska road no enye ya. Mama yenka you say drivers no mama yenka drivers no bi wo ho a omo driving ye by road so nye.
Ekwan ye enye akwafo no doso.
Edoso.
Ye da say.
Contract bit ni ye gota. Ye bi so guma hu te ku etio. Te ku enimu ye tafa ko.
Medase pa. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Obanyi brobe na what to say?
Oh, buni abayo.
There are there say yeti o.
Ojume ofiti ase acho. Etem bia susu ye de beba no. Mo fa nye adwuma. Potholes no me kan say. Road and highways, the local government ministers no omni de bi si ho. Na the whole Ghana effectuate as a potholes. Ye to su mienu. Who say articulate ta no express kwa mu no kuku bu de papi no. E say omnya reflective e wo kire. Sede ba ya ka bi ba wa etoso anu ahu. This station no ka ko mata no ka di koko e kwata krade no. Wo mo lantern bi abasiri shemu. Di kan say ya e bi no, o di shemu a na ye orange, o de ba ko bonkum asoro, no de ba ko abonifa. Di ka wo ba bia hu se di go. E be ti mi a introduce sa.
Okay.
As that no adaba for do no enu boni. Se bia na ni so shi. Obu ha akaka babro 40 years. Unya accident da. Na ma phone so dey tisa o. Ikobu benya accident bia yen testing ni moja. Ye nu boni wo mu no ye suspend no. Ena nkwala nketwa no a omka bicycle ni tricycle no. Inya 25 years. Accident ni be one ma.
Okay.
The course okay tampo. The course atewu. The chibane ade no. Wo mu ne man basa.
Yeah.
The tamo of the accident no sutia. Mon test ba dawa for no moja through stations for no. Na de enye no. They are suspended no o met some suba me da.
Okay, me so me da sipi. We aye enkomo aye ne a driver for airborne ne no na mana oba Steven e bisa se Mr. BIAMAH asemi a wo kan ne nchechira moyi ta bre mu pa drivers dodo sen na etie eno ni asem no Steve eno ni asem no ne fidie no kura da neat ha sei na wonya tesie de memment no aye fro no okobonyom e bi nso a na de kutia wo no eno ne yebeka ho asem eya asem pa manaba ena Joseph Achia on ode aba no chese cars bebre ho nso mo maintenance enti no bibiki to bi na chese ebu afaso akoku nkrofo ma ai ena wasan de aba se drivers bi ho nso so a wo mani wo ha wo mani hye da hunu ade papa enti eno so ka ho ena ma enkwanhia no esie enti wo mo cars maintenance no na wo mo enipadua no so ese etimi maintenance na yetimi ehwehwe mu pa. Dominic Andono, say good afternoon. I'm watching you live from Belgium. Yo, yeah, that's I am Dominic Ando dia or dia Banedini sounded familiar in my ears. Master Pino, say good afternoon, Mami BIAMAH. I'm watching you MAAME live inside London with Auntie Amalusi, Angela Kosia Kunedua Mwakon, Augustina Baden Rama, and Patrick Osajafo. And then there's Fidel Hayford, and was a good afternoon. I what if you could see me team and was say my regards to Dr. Afriya Koto. Yo, yeah, that's it. And Emmanuel Keyamwan was a good afternoon, Miss Soja. Please help me to ask the Kwabre East MP, Honorable Francisca Otemensa, what is she doing about the road from Bomfa Junction through to Bonyure to Adamumase? Lincoln and Quanta. Enti yo oti enti obete no aba be yimu ano why aba be yi mu ano mu hold them accountable ai mo na moto aba ma wo mo hwe na nipa na dwuma nso ani abroskoto no ini firo ne fa foforo bra that's all ena nuta say James Junior and was say e was see etimi ye yakwan no so adwuma esi ni na road markings no ye ma dead perfect nipa ne nam finfin no so na mu finfin wuduro ba bia chese road markings nyina to bom wonhunu sa wonfa awrade enti empanyefo mo ye de ni se kwan ne nya edi road markings so no eno so ahia na beje yen ahia ne ye betua wo ho no gi nipa wu wo ho ansa na ya dwene abafie Edi Ekura na higher Kwabna Pia. So good afternoon, maybe I'm watching live from UK. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Womunyana one more share live. I was young for her and your bedrock curtains no on the Kanewu program. Road safety campaign. Yeah, day bremo. Yes, remo. Yeah, ncheche no ha munti na superm na mofanya adwuma na mo na mo bomo monkwa ene mobusuafo na afi adofo a ebefo moka enso so enkwa bia obi a wote wo ka mu no ono na daachi wi obeboa wo baby ana se obey bibi sunko be di ama enso o negligence inti driver na wakoku nipa no just like that mama yensua bibi na nchechera mpanyifo de yefem no yefanya adwuma na wiase onipa dasani sa wo hwa wo husu yi a wo betena se ache wo benyini ache
The biblical cliche that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. We need wisdom to rule this country.
Kwabu na mira sanita no wo de bibi bai no chese ma me repeat this for me. Now I see wo free wo full cycle interchange no a wo ko Vodafone no e free Accra wo free Accra na wo bedru cycle na wo sane akọ Vodafone side ho no oh wo se ekwan ye kwanfo ekwan ne nye na minim e ho de definitely mpanyimfo be fa ho ndi wo mu hunu ya e bia wo mu ani nye nti wo mu hunu ya nti wo mu teka no ne dru ho no na e wo so nti ya wo mu nte wo mu vili e de na ekoi akwan bi ho wonam so pa tumu se ekwan na moa ase abobọ enso na ya ye kwan no ama contractors wawie ama our so called engineers akwa certify. What is wrong with us? Enti ade na nya ye ntimi hunu enka ho asem ana anasa de na haye ade na nya odi ama contract. It is based on a offense contract. What spell it out in ya wo pe e wo contract num ama nipa na je atum say ameye wakwa kwhwe nipa na nya to your expectation, to your satisfaction e de na si kwan say masa ye kwan ni ye ansa na ya approve na ya certify e de amount ukọ ya se de na ha yo wakwaje atum na ya certify na afi behwe nkrofo ma totum no mu obi e na monsa so e ma okra ba akọ e behwe ne nkwa e sign wo negligence nti no nyame bebisa what you say nyame obebisa papa.
Biblical cliche that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. We need wisdom to rule this country. Na omube Ghana ayaye ni bisabio but we must also see how easily one can become an ignorant and unwitting spokesperson for Satan and evil forces that militate against us as individuals and as a nation.
Mugabe enti se na one mismanage economy no na wo ba be sire sika wo ye ho a be ka kire ye se Ghana for mesrɛ mo ye ba ye no na ye nim se sei na tie ye ka se John Mahama su nipa 87 na edoso ba ye ba ne ye hu se o ye hia 125 ba ye ye ne ye nya results because ye complaining na do ka kire ye se results are sa 125 ne be ba ne be so Ghana for ani ble so ye ni anka na ye mpa 11 enti bi ahobrasem ka ye nia ken emeka nche ye se Oma baba be westi ye sika. they've come to waste our first 4 years. Eti omo srayen moving forward no yamboa omo na yanchichiri oman no eti bia eto sei ni no de bia mete se yenuano mo kasem e-levy omo mpini e-levy just 6.9 million 6.9 billion wajisika bebre de wo kai se oman we mu ne eti na Jane Mensa call Parliament House Emma ye MPs ni bisa ne say Ghana card na wo ye no wonya sure say wo de ba be ye registration na osio no o kan yankopon ebi nsida sa what to parliament so na what to committee anim na wo kasa you under oath em say lawyer for no be chechere mu say che say wo transfer ene na ye fa ne perjury na ade no wo transfer che say what committee offense eye prisonable offense Mensa ka che say there be
the ideal society they belong to are in these terrorist groups and not for example, the Republic of Ghana. And so they would criticize how our democracy does not work and it does not deliver. They will criticize how they are waiting for jobs, but those jobs will never come because the government will never be able to deliver. They will criticize how they can take certain things happening in society and use them as examples to radicalize. All these become the techniques of radicalization. They become the techniques of, if you call it, undermining what we are, what progress we have made, and what we have achieved. People should not assume that there is no jealousy that in the Fourth Republic we have maintained and sustained political stability. We are not like other places where people are arrested and locked up. People don't want to see a country, and when I say people here, I'm referring to these terrorist groups. They are envious that when there is an environment in which every country is suffering under the weight of terrorism, Ghana continues to stand stable. It's not to create the mistake of allowing people to fall into the hands of terrorists, but that every day we work together to overcome those challenges, right from local government level to national level, to prevent that radicalization, which then makes people to fall into the hands of these groups when the possibility of recruitment arises. Let us continue with the effort of delivering good governance. Military or security is one, but it is more about the delivery of good governance. Let in every village and in every community, even when we have challenges, let us continue to engage one another in which people know that there is a collective effort, both formal and informal. Continue to allow you in the media to have the space. Even when you criticize, it should not be interpreted as negative. It should be interpreted as constructive to help the accountability process. Let's continue to deepen democracy.
Look at the price of gas now. It's $7.55 a gallon. Hey, Putin, we're sending you a bill.
I put $15 in my car for gas.
Area abusiafo ye brano no mienu aba pa onsima adueno emienu braso se afei ensama hodo bebre na enne egu apno so a ye betase ne sebesepa ene kunna haha ye tase ne banyansafo Ghana ye sikasem ne adwade ho ntoto ye de enye ne ye beka munyina ye monimsem dada enti enura mampanyi na adodanko akufo ado ekopie mu ewo BBC Focus on Africa so ema won bisebisa no ye economy ne ho nsem ema no so edi nkyeremu ebae ye behwe ho na yaka ho asem na asin north nso so enkonwa no akonwa no ato anase edaso ho we majority leader ese aye vacant automatically aye vacant minority say enyade a aye vacant into which akonwa na nkasa ni state mu no etesen na enemra shebedwafie form yensa and a speaker of parliament right honorable Wari Fese ye omunkopie e privileges committee ni nyina ne se ne fo amakomako edunum entem womantu wom nan amfa nsimra shebedwafie ho no mo anko ye adwuma afa CPP amayoko no so no eka ababede dedam ama sese na ye ajantoa ene afoforo me enu eka ne ho wom nyina ya interdict wo mo de papa mu no ebeboa amayoko no ana sesen na esi etie afa nso no school selection placement system and also ekoswe mentem ho ase bebre na efifiri mu aba na minya ntie mpo se a whole school yentimi amplesi wo mo eti eno ne saa no wo mo ebeye den wo hwe free bra ye share sa placement system yi ase a pepem saa bre wo senka enie ma ye petty issues yetimi yetimi tra saa emre no kra nanso ase bia na se yekoyachi na ya san be nim kakra na yekoyachi na ya san be nim kakra nti wei ene enkomo ahodo a ene yeba abetwetwen no ahwie na mpanyimfo a me no mo ebesip no Sylvester Sapon Soprano CPP Director of Communications or ha Neo Dailai Paka NPP Greater Accra Regional Secretary ono so wonam kwanso awoba na Godwin Mahama NDC Communications Team Member ono so eba bekan ye ho ha sei empanyufoi ena wiei me no mo ebesi nkonwa na yetimi abo me ho enkomo sabre mini abema Soprano ababekam ho anti me mana kwa ba Soprano ye mo akwa aba
ya mini aba
na mpom te sai
ya me adaromo na so e
adumara kwa ye ho pa
amen
wiei ya ena a speaker of parliament I refer members of parliament me ensa honorable Sarah Joasafo dom kwabenya MP honorable Kennedy Akompre ko Japan Asen Central MP and afi Greater Accra Regional Minister ono so eka ho bi pa miensa
ya no chasing Grofo street so tapenyi no
okay almost kan for 15 days omo anko parliament anko ye adwuma it ya refer omo to the privileges committee one.
Oh okay me feel say me da ashimini aba na me chia CPP for ne Ghana for nyina across the country and internet so nyina now, about the attorney say, me feel say the speaker is probably acting in his rightful capacity. Me so matisa news we say, na me say na indeed Honorable Muntanka, I'm so free Aswase or MP for Aswase. No one yet too happy with the speaker can say because no feel say according to speaker no, individuals be and organizations be. And a trouble or no parliament.
People from outside parliament.
But I'm so much trouble speaker no, ask the speaker and not to parliament.
Okay.
But more importantly, you know, and so I take note of Honorable Muntake's concern. Say, I want to hear no yes, and I need a be pronama will be to me a bit at rent feedings and send a twin my name a MP for a name. But now me feel say, you see, me who. Some similarity between the referral to the Committee of Privileges, no, and for instance, say be a interdict obi.
So two different.
There's a little bit of similarity in the sense
okay.
it says you say no, you refer Honorable Adjoa Safwa, you know, and Honorable Kennedy Japan,
and Henry Corte,
so but they have not been sacked.
No, interdict in any way. This is a situation whereby they've been called to come and explain why they absented.
Sure.
I say, come and explain why you absented yourself from work and answer from school. Not just here, you.
Okay, and that's what I also wanted to emphasize. Said because they'll have the opportunity to go and explain
why they
one hour you know I saw the doctor's report akọ that's all any other but me feel say speaker person will make sure say the Ghanaian people are getting value for money from their members of parliament so and in fact yes so Ghanaians no the ohwe sika ye tuama parliamentarians sika kese a ye de etua e de hwe ye parliamentarians no even including speaker I know a hospital Dubai, a bono hoka, sika pudio kesiye pa, even after sa na waji per diem, any es gracia bebriba since 2002 as a saying, waji nyina sebe speaker ne yarea, waji ni pay dada aji pay sa no, na ya sa maniska afro, yen ma yaka Ghana ni nyasa.
And also soprano if
it's just by the way, I'm just saying say. Oh yeah, we have to talk about a situation because sometimes
I know some talk about it, but sometimes I know asking for permission officially. Obisa kwan. Yes.
Okay.
And to say onipa na bisa kwan and wakwa. What akwanya obisa ye no. Eba bechere.
Okay.
What you say?
Yeah.
So when misa kwan wakwa ya, the entire man take his French leave. And no so ba bechere.
Mate ba na sika na e san de kan wo mo e di kan tu mo ho kadada na ya san ma wo sika.
Different matter we
are because you need sika Ghana. So say see our presidency sika anyway. Nka speaker of hospital no one any pay no the bitua na nka ye den because Ghana for aka nyina na ye hospital a ye pay na ye de man na one ye di tua so ho say be speaker pay so enye ska atoa on obu ho no ma woje 250 cedis a month o yare no hospital no de emu 70 cedis akotua card kra wo je 30 cedis so ho ntia na ye ka say minim say enye sa na ye ka de but asem na aka ne ho na akopie say ye mpanyimfo asikafo mo gi pay ni per diem ni s gracia ene clothing allowance, any free house boy, any free garden boy, any free bongro ni adi nyina no. Omo yare no omo san akọ hospital. Na Ghana for ya see any scare. Ya san dey sika ama mo so monko.
And no a different issue at the right time no ye be raise na ya kan ho asembra yanko mampanyin enra okokasa wo BBC Focus on Africa ema ye bisa no se Ghana manfo ho kire wo mo na wo sign de e-levy abe compound issues ni ade no onyi ni se still no a wo pia manfo de akọ ohia buruburo mu ne ensem bebre nkomo no na edoso ne wa na ye bisa ho asem sa so wo hwa no yi amampanyi ede mae no a na mampanyi is being too defensive and I say kwan ofa so eyi ano no ne kwan so ano no.
Well, to begin with no na me no I was very surprised say President Akufo-Addo say such an important interview we no we decided say on a British for na ekwa kasa. I mean to the last time I check him say Ghana ho be 700 radio stations any TV stations na wa ha and our president so ekwa kasa
700
more than
okay, both radio
and TV media houses no and our president of Ghana so ekwa kasa wo baby mu ehwam pa sabi wow no kasa no unya a lot of eyeballs so to speak and I say chesenkofo tie nti senka president Akufo-Addo obey you made in Ghana radio station and our media house ediama announcement we nanka British Broadcasting Corporation abrofo ombedi yeso ehonhon ye gold ni ye goose ekoye no omo pa nankom ebianko na ba Neat FM no abekasa na BBC fo no Oma ba be chie free Neat FM. Na Neat FM aye kukudam no. So na Akufo-Addo ekọ abrofo no ho. Ni sa all this media attention we ekoma British Broadcasting Corporation, the former colonialist no. Or they come omo free bonto. Amo menya a lot of media attention around the net, internet. Ghana for be 20 million. Akọhwe, ukọhwe nso so na omenya ayi uhwe internet kwa kan say. Views omenya views bebre ama omo advert omo ya akosoro omo menya sika mi wa na se sika nke betimi abagana ama economy na akofom enti ana omo tira America Professor Dr. Bawumiasu because na nche wa doje economy ni kakra digitization. I thought he would catch this
digitization economy
but that's what I'm saying say when the president of Ghana who is the most important Ghanaian okasa obi etie no ebe kasa akire Ghana for afa yen economy a e-level mu chinchimi yen se yen ka no eno so so gese e koma British for abrofo no ma san didi ho Okay, it's in a
can inviting the someone person.
Oh, Oba, I said you can be my president. President no was Ghana for pursue creative value. So our Ghana has said. Now he's talking about the e-levy. Now saying TN news digitally. What you say? Nantin kawe no kwadiba need FM not using digitization no ye tuning in. Na need FM views no cost no. Na Akufo do asesa ni nyina akwa London for and abrofo no. That's what didi ya ho. Didi ya ho just digitization no. Just ya fe de kwama British for. Etina na anya de ne sa ne de. Oh, yes, CPP for we don't agree with this sort of behavior as Pan-Africanists, you know. We have over 700 media houses. Nana Akufo-Addo, president, when Timi Anya Baako, uko is a mikro me atwumanwa bi aja sia, ye was station ho. When Timi Anko atwumanwa bi aja anko first station no. So what I say, Peace FM nyina wo ho. When Timi de me di ne ho yaw. But coming to the substance of say ebia ode your digitization opportunities chair British broadcasting for no we are not in China so afa no hu se na okoye no obi so ye defensive as a workers and na say ne ho yira no because say onu ano say as otum se nyoma nkoye but na say ode ani eden amamni fi face say so ode ne ho akoma British for and omo so mo di jinjam no. It's a interview. No, Ghana phone bo ha. Na very apprehensive because na British for no papa na or kasama Britain for BBC no. No, I are quite hostile to the president, in my opinion. It's not
or in the shoes of Ghanaians.
Oh, which is precisely my point. Say no, Senka president and the ban need FM. Then a British ni be the shoes of Ghanaians. Omo hamburger, any bacon, any nkosia nchefui, tie di konkonte 2 cities, yemwadie 2 cities. How can they kind of appreciate where we are coming from? What I say, I think the president lost a golden opportunity.
He asked the right questions too.
Oh, not necessarily. Because it's how the president Nico baby economy is in such shambolic situation. Say question be abebusa president and can ho betre no. So what I say, now president can say e-levy no just ofu say the digital economy is now the biggest economy part of the economy until say tax frankly, but just because we have to tax does not mean say see buye. So what I say, you don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg. So what I say, until we always say speaking for myself, you know. But before I even speak for myself, now I want to say CPP for no. Now your position is here e-levy. So because nanka tax waivers now president needed the mama companies and including family and friends if we be or mutisisi Pullman Hotel or cantonments Esikafo Hotel. I am more tax waiver about $24 million. Petrol mun to be. Just the umbeto be a free bone to organ or mun to I wonder, say, can may use opportunity to ebusa say enti, one more I am more tax waivers no. Umbeto ya e-levy ni biana. Very, very, very important.
Yeah.
Oh, that be we are sure.
So far as you do Momo, so far as you do bank transactions.
No, but how do you juxtapose that against the fact that many panel tax waiver? Because you're man a tax waiver.
Tax waiver just say ni sike kita na wo tax.
Oh, there be oba.
Company na oba baby.
Yeah.
And no the equipment be or they buy any day and I am man a tax waiver.
Are you sure about this? Because to the best of my knowledge, you know, your amount tax waiver, oko petrol na later no. Yeah, we later no file ya. You better tax amount. And I'm saying say unless you know the NPP can come and explain to us. No, I keep
any member of parliament
should explain because he love you know.
The tax waiver no
applied. So which is uko did work and peace krani ejo tax later omo the mount. No because so long as you spend it as per the company now when you waiver no. So na me person me here clear from the governing NPP say sa e-levy no one more ya mema abrofo no a omo ye millionaires no ma baga na omo ntua tax omo didi wa free 3 months be almost the capital ni free akọ am I see the dollar na you see the no falling no eti e-levy no omo betua bia na omo ntua because omo tax waivers eti ano so ho now generally not president me feel say some people were saying say he was defensive you know, but I think say he was standing up for Ghana. You understand, the president of Ghana no as the commander-in-chief could not go out there and go and cry mama like the real situation is. we all know that the situation is a MAAME situation, but we also appreciate that the president just couldn't go out there to stand in front of all these British white people, and cry, MAAME, that the economy is good. So one could appreciate that the president was, sort of putting up a fight about his performance, albeit dismal. So I say, hey, in that regard, if you said the president, he sought to make a case. Now, I also want to be politically honest, okay, and admit, say, COVID, no, I mean, your market care, and your Ghana, as the president was saying. In fact, it may be credible container crowd being a do kuku, a gum, a cotton crano, and a problem. And because of the supply chain backups, no, as a supply chain challenges, never no, affect you, be what the obeto kuku, container and farm mefa, and the kuku turns in your container and farm co. And shipping lines, not COVID, no, a lot of from dock workers, or more harbor, no, a lot of them went home because of COVID. It's not only in Ghana. Now, me say at the peak of COVID, no, now Los Angeles or more harbor, one of the busiest in the world, no more huge problems because of these challenges now. Yeah, cano. It's me say we have to be politically honest. The president and his party have been a major disappointment, and COVID did help them along in that regard. In the drive to the bottom. So I say, and I also know, so who say Ukraine war no, any the geopolitical gymnastics, the geopolitical gymnastics koso, the international sphere no, high kakra. For instance, see, and as you know, oil prices are kosro. Ayana and say because of the Russia-Ukraine war. That is not true. Oil prices have gone high up because of the sanctions from President Joe Biden. What I say on Russia. Russia was a special military operation, and some of us thought, say, fine, NATO no in their interest could have put sanctions, but naka sanctions some calibrated. Make us calibrated and in kakra. So I say now America for any NATO for any Europe for, we love them very much, but they are not the only occupants in this world. So I say if you have a problem with Putin, you need to also think about the repercussions for the rest of the world. You understand? So the situation in Ghana today is not so much the fault of the Russian-Ukraine war as much as it is the fault due to the miscalculated sanctions imposed upon Russia by President Biden and his NATO allies and some other countries like Japan and other such countries. So now, normally, now CPP for time war government, near non-aligned movement members. Okay. You need left, you need right. You need yejina baby, yejina. Sabi ewimfoni yejuni ho. So I say, I remember say I call General Assembly, United Nations Security Council, no. Ghana vote to condemn Russia, and then subsequently, in Ghana Independence Day, President Vladimir Putin congratulated Ghana on our independence. Sure. I think the best place for Ghana to stand is in a non-aligned position. Yana senke jina ho non-aligned da. Senke CPP government and ye non-aligned da. Enka yenka say ye ko join America na ye ko join Russia and ye jina finfin. Enka Russia for betimi ache petrol kra. Yeah, what I say. So we have to be very careful and appreciate the fact that in our foreign relations, our interests come first. Okay, now we have partners in the foreign sphere, but we are a non-aligned country. We used to be, at least, unless it's changed. But as he said, the president today,
I think we are still in that.
But if you're president, the Biana said, Ghana and Assembly can ufi, ye can hanke disika, bad digitally now. No, the Akoma brofono. Brof was too much.
Invited him now.
When I invite you, no, it's my invite, no.
TV station and radio station men inviting our uncle. Maybe an appointee.
President Akufo-Addo. Na be dey about stage.
That's what Bebe Kasa Peace FM.
Na they say me can it. Na tu gwa muntie for friend obeko. Muntie for friend president. Ya be an president need me kwasa. So I say. But in any case, what I'm saying say, assuming say even British Broadcasting for a friend for this particularly important interview, I think say state protocol for Lusu guard any minister of foreign affairs, they lost a golden opportunity. Oh, because the American say who use digitization now MPP for the can't now. When the president of Ghana is giving such an important interview, one more mobile tuning in will be no less than 20 million. So I challenge you to find out from the Ministry of Information because the analytics are available. Now say 20 million. Beshena na Akufo-Addo na nkoye no NEAT FM mo channel so a eno no nanka say NEAT FM benye skapa mo digital crew no mo ha no kombe dipa omo skills no nka ewiase mo nyina be ho say NEAT FM for more skills. So I say na enhance digitization am for better transactions because adverts na mo ye e wo mo network ne so no na Akufo-Addo amfa this golden opportunity amfa am Ghana for o sisa de koma abrofo London City. So I say bibia na sa abrofo lie ya no akohan abrofo aeroplane adware ewom and I make but they say Ghana Airways the restaurant airport. So but anyway to the American say by and large when the president is representing Ghana on the international stage and for the president of Ghana any day but because of that because of patriotism Anna Yentimin Kasa and in summing up what I'm trying to say is that I think President Akufo-Addo he hid behind the patriotic flag of Ghana because in the Banit FM I said in Kibesia mano verbal blows any challenges 1 minute and we join call British Broadcasting for
the rightful question.
That's not the point. Ghanaians are capable of asking. Ghanaians are capable of asking even better questions. Let them be Nigeria or till London. Oni abrofudi agro. Ebe busa questions concerning Ghanaians who live on 2 cities konkonte 2 cities yemwadie.
But so no so tie Ghana for so free. Ebi abeka no monitor some of our stations. Etie or how I yenso ye fam ye complaining about the economy. And obisa no say when you necessary 11 year would be esan be Ghana for ye more impoverished in poverty.
Well, I mean, say no yen Ghana for ni anim we dada. Asema who can say e ka say enko IMF for IMPP for say ye kwa the omo be ka che ni yen anim. What I say, I mean, how can a Nigerian living in London look at the distance? A Nigerian man living in London coming from London to Ghana.
He's also an African.
Sure. I will tell London.
It is happen to Ghana. It can equally happen in Nigeria.
Yeah, and I'm not saying say it is illegal. I'm just lamenting this golden opportunity to enhance the digitization drive in Ghana that the president threw away to white people in London. People who colonized us and took our gold, our human beings.
Everything they still take from us.
Now the president is giving it to them voluntarily. It is very sad. You lose golden opportunity, but apart from that, when the president is representing us, I quite to say Black Stars. So I'm in Nigeria for Bobo, I support Tomo. And yes, I 25 million. Nanki here the ayadi. I see a domo de kwako bobo kekeno.
Meda sipi soprano sapon Sylvester. Ena oten enkana sabre Godwin Mahama nyame adom ababeka Godwin akwaba
chale yenua
na bibia abokode
God na adom yo na so
ye the radius yenso ye ho ye pa kwekwa amene soprano edisha ase parliament speaker of parliament I refer two people 3 MPs to the privileges committee over absenteeism or amba parliament for 15 working days. They should go and explain to the privileges committee why they absented themselves. Honorable Sarah Dwasafo, Honorable Henry Korte, and Honorable Kennedy Japan.
Miniaba. I think so apart from and I'm call BBC assembly.
You no quick one sana.
And may win so quick.
Okay.
Now Miss Metima comment on the BBC.
Definitely you have to talk about it because
part of the major topics that
we're your comments on that.
We feel the case situation I mean share with you especially to NDC form what the Greater Accra region of Menyamre 88 mo fi the case we so maybe I menya akwanya say me chia one because Greater Accra is one of the regions or mo bo mo modern power in the last elections a part of the regions a man ne parliament apaye friend the chempe 137 nti se unya akwanya na say udasa region no ase e we adwuma so o mo body aboa the democracy of this country na ma san gina so aka kire won say adwuma o mo gusu bo no emiri ni du so ayenso yegusu ye ya afemu dia Yebe unveil ho ama won in the next coming internal elections, especially for the Greater Accra, to contest for the Greater Accra Regional Communication Officer position for the Greater Accra. Timichio munina. Minia, you see, this country is a country ruled by law. And I had the mra and yedibu on my Ghana. Menina Bibian Yeni na ya tete say constituents, citizens, elements, parliamentarians in most cases and co-parliament. Atubon so omo constituent no complain say won ko parliament no. Won so won wo omo constituency. Atubon say who no won constituency or say my main work is for my constituents. Or rely so much also in parliament not or say parliament na my main responsibility to do. But you know him say omo asudi edo omo so ne so mbeye emra ama oman Ghana. Nti omo asudi na you see who kind emra na omudi ebu parliament and erani parliament enye straight jacket. Say immediately I obe absent yourself no you be pull to the privileges committee. You making some exception I obe timidi ebisa kwan. Nti bon say sometimes say order and votes and order of parliament eba obo say na chiro wo ho absentees with permission and absentees without permission. Nti no ubisa permission I think say I granted because they will grant you the permission before you absent yourself. So find in this particular trouble. But say go without permission. I say ye go school na wa base school one can't teacher say member and as a member. But normally say oba na say wa ufumpo be bisa kwan ma wa and they accept it. Ade china oba ye ngwa ye mpane show. That means say udi obuo ama authorities. Udi obuo ama emra na ye di ibu school no. But say sorry keke ka say inde de memma echina memma emran no so baby kire say one bar without permission for a certain number of times there were punitive measures yes they take you against you. So if that is what parliament I think they have not done anything against the law. They are really making sure say emran be yejuma because many amribian they say Ghana you were one of the best laws in the world, but the problem near about implementation. Say be shamana yeden ayejuma. The current leadership, and when I say leadership, I mean the two leaders of both NDC and MPP, and a parliamentary core, including even the speaker, or the head of the parliamentary body, say, do so on person de mrani yede ayejuma. But me hope say privileges committee and conco dania semino left and right at the end. No bon na bibi papa bia anya den emfimu ama. Utwa asa ene na asa ne ya so bi su twa the same asa the next day ya de wa asa ne na be susu aka say utwa asa say no say na ya de ye wo ti so bi su twa the same asa ye mfa the same susukuru anenya den ensusu no nti parliament must be very careful to know say anama no omutu no eye in favor of the law nti wonyi no mo nan so make sure say mrane be ye den ebe ye adwuma. Nobody is above the law. Ajosafo is not above the law. Kennedy Japan is not above the law. Even the third person is also not above the law. The diamrani kanu. Okay, honorable court. The diamrani sieno. Wama mrani nyejuma. Because emrana nyejuma nea nyejuma echina. Anamebwa. Emrana nyejuma nea echina nyejuma. Nti wama nyejuma ne. Senya MP bia su die dane so pen primary responsibility. That's I say our parliament. No buama yeshe mra edibu o man Ghana no on tutu nase. No be yese dia mra yeden ese. Nti neme ma ye handle this one with soft glove. Okay. Na ade chi obi nso ya in order to serve as deterrent to as others. A deterrent to the others. Okay. Because nessa we are softer. Nessa is just a mere words na obeka cha ne dia. Then you are giving way for the other MPs to replicate what these people have done because untimi nya won hwe. Okay. Nti I hope say it's a good move in the right direction. We are waiting for the outcome and hoping say outcome no be so deterrent to the extent say subsequently no e be ba susu dua MPs na betimi aso maka say hey say me ye we a we ni ye be ye me ye we a ye be ye me allen say who absentee with some number of days your seat can be declared vacant for a by-election to be conducted. Yeah. Are you getting me? Yeah. I think me hope say one of these days you be who this particular event unveiling itself in this country. Yeah, it depends on the explanation that they will provide. Sure. Because speaker can say, this is an opportunity for them to also explain. Oh yeah. This is issues of natural justice. Yeah. Yes, the Latin will tell you the other utterance pattern. You have to listen to the other side.
Yeah.
Now we also the okano edim and as enye endim. Say nimu now the say yedidi ni yede
edim. Meda sepa Godwin Mahama enono. Na yenhwe mampanyi akopiem ewo BBC de Ghana ye economy honsem akopiem ho achechiremu ni enti a odi 11 so aba de ahoche bebre Ghana for wo de ho nchiremu nyina ba isa ahoche nya Ghana nko na wo ewo baabi a edi se Ghana for so asanso na omo ewo abrochire wo mo UK wo mo wo US wo nyina so esu nya Ghana economy nko a na ohaw ana problems ewo mu
BIAMAH.
Yes, Godwin.
Me bana soprano this idea we hun komo. Now you see word be I am very happy about the word. Say mampeni enya golden opportunity. But I think say the golden opportunity mampeni nya ye no. Ay opportunity anka say all the catch the wiase aman nyina the true economy of this country.
Nanko kana saying
because so your interview or Ghana most of the interviews in Ghana. There are some journalists they are somehow very close to the government of the day. In some SS wo bisano no won't mean yeden bisano. Ebi wo ha ombe bisa but they refuse to go on with leading questions. After we bisa question ewie. Nti akwaya say wo bisa dia mampanyin epese oti ena omu bisano. But we know timi hu say Peter ezi okochi ebisa ne nsema esesa nke so obisa no nti na nke your opportunity say mampanyi edi yi anu yie but me hu say mampanyi say ye ti Ghana ye ka say no kware e friend no kware eni mampanyi ano ene obeka say platform bi obenya bia ne nsema opese oka wo ho wankasa yi dabi ko social media what's surprise no kan Ghana for ye tinu ye etie no ebi tie no wo social media and most Ghanaians resorted to social media to vent our anger on the war president ekasaye into so person the true reflection me may follow social media ama most of my stations sister stations I publish some of the commenter citizens make it on social media.
Is it about comments people made and answer asama mampenyi kind?
Comment no make it based on asama kind. One, you bisa mampenyi about e-levy. And I see the e-levy is not to come and tax the individual but the industry. Way ayano kware. No way ayano kware. Anya no kware. Anya no kware. So you see, sometimes no one manage unsem ya obi oti obeka say o ya kola ummu ade but ye na ye nyinu na ye mi say unyi nyina na o sense of reasoning open up nti na sometimes because penyi endi for penyi ntwantro nti no ka te penyi so twantro they think you don't respect but I say you do pempen so bi say ye kan kware kire man penyi because the rate at which ogu Ghana din ni mase e wa manone no we can't allow that. Only the first president. And he's not going to be the last president. Into your man indented the image of Ghana. Meaning now him say, come May, there's e-levy now. Fraudulently, let me use that fraudulently. Per my analysis of Justice Abudulai interpretation from the Supreme Court, say one constitute a quorum for decision making of 138. That decision is null and void. You know? That fraudulent e-levy. I'm a peninsula to true Mika. I got assenting or assenting to it. You know? Yes, by May a beba. When we now answer him say it is to tax the individual. And I'm a boy. So what na a manoni na ye bisa about e-levy. That's how I say it is to tax the industry na ye individual. BIAMAH enye ntra na ye den. Enye ntra na ye den. I get me. Into sa kind of behavior on the part of president, you know. As I say, yetimi, I can't quite two. BIAMAH, Mampeni say the economy of this country is not in terrible state. Anameboa. Yes, also I know a question now. Journalists ni bisa na. I get ni angry. Even got him angry. And you see, yes, a Mampeni couldn't even control his temperament.
I thought so. Can say it's not only Ghana which is going through that this economy.
No, yeah, banter. Or see, Ghana's economy is not in terrible state. Let an car say, and yet Ghana kwa. Now, because Ghana kwa at the first time, also Ghana economy is not in terrible state. And I'll move forward and yet Ghana kwa. That means you admit say the economy is in terrible state. Journalists can say hike of fuel, unemployment.
So even discourage investors.
Yes. If you not invest your money in Ghana, where will you invest your money? But then say forward price in this country is something that you me afford it. Who can you say Russia and Ukraine? But Mandiama, Shamaminka and true one people are buying no. Yan Kay ye near. Omudi yen 9 better than yen 6. Yes, Ukraine and Russia and Toka are affected certain things. But the fact is that Ghana is also gaining from that route between Ukraine and Russia.
How is Ghana?
You make us say, hey, budget. We paid our petrol, our crude oil. So you better on $6. Yes, $60 per barrel. And then you turn more than $100 per barrel. That means say, Sikana kesu say better on yendi no, and then you turn it times 2. Until Sika ebenya from the crude sales no, we are getting a windfall of 100%. So abandon to me be can kire me no say your budget say ebenya sale from your oil crude, but because of Russia Ukraine yenya times 2. But when they say it, they will tell you the negatives, but the positives na your windfall a yenya ne there, then they keep quiet on it. What am I gonna say? Me better na hanka sama minim. I get me. So I know what I'm saying. Then na yen himself fool bonde yentimi nto. Banjama hwe under John Mahama. I say one born homodin. Ofia be nwane so. Himself fool. Some pumps will sell it this and that and that. But the highest was around 16 Ghana cedi. There were some pump alone motor on 15. They been put on 14 per liter. And they are saying, and they are double. You talk for gallon more than 50 cedis. Anameboa. Until you can say the economy is not good. Mampeni esa ojitum. Unemployment is still a problem. And you see a security threat. And then I'm a former deputy minister of information. Now, National Youth Authority. Pius Henam Hajide. Our TV Africa. Okase. MPP am promise. On be absorbing all NAPCO workers. And I was shocked for him to say so. Where are your open secretary? Ghana ni bia nimse. Mushe mebunu ni bosse. Mube absorb your money now into the employment system. Into when to me anya, the FN say you come and apologize. And explain. But unkoswa to find a way to justify. As if say mo kanene yada, mo kanene enindia, mo kan. And who some institutions who were issuing appointment letters. Letter was even issued signed by Vice President Anameboa. Said they should absorb all NAPCO workers. Vice President Edin Sashen Katase. Until ne aso monsa and omudu omunai enante. Until sama enimun trunkwa no mucha. That's the next point. The next one, Mampeninsu Kaya na etwamin sunu. A CD depreciation. The Ghana cedi is not doing bad. Ghana cedi is one of the worst in the world. It depreciated about 20%. Are you getting me?
This year alone.
Yeah, this year alone. It depreciated about 20%.
Over 10,000.
Yes. Dollar now. Kaninanka, Vice President, Economic Messiah of the MPP, in opposition. And on a forum where Echina no nam hanum, or nam ha no china nam ha. People were telling him, say, Yemfa book theory. What Baumia was doing was what we call economic theory, theories of economics. There is one way, yeah, practicality. Into normally, it's all university. Yeah, we work on industrial attachment. We na for we do remember work on the FN almost 6-month probation. Now we dey train you on the practical work because we say theory na yet the same as what practicals. But Baumia vice that Ghana for with theories. And on Namahana or kind theories, on Namahana or kind authorities, on Namahana or kind books. Thinking say management of Ghana economy no book munewo. And then yadi economy ni man no. Where is the city? Okay, say John Mahama buying. Tell me now kita 1 cedi a $1. Yes, $1 3 cedi 80 pesos. Also na John Mahama money home money. John Mahama wanye konsu. Remember what's all your way? Wanye konsu. Or your communication specialist. Onumpono Ojagana. What exactly? Don't worry, we'll go there. Ojagana $1 to 3 cedi 80 pesos. And the ifan yewo dollar chem 8 cedis. Dollar chem 8 cedis.
Now, do we need an economist to govern the country?
What's it?
Do we need an economist to govern the country?
For me, no. For me, no. Until I make sure I say, not the na Dr. Mahmoud Baumia ayeno. Na ye book economics. Na ye book economics and your practicals into John Mahama catch it or no. Any nanado say. Wait until you become a president. Now say if the reality dawn on you are, then you can now criticize me. And that's 7 years down the lane or the line. Economy no way fa. Economy no way fa. You can't say economy. Economy is the true reflection of the livelihood of the citizens in the country. And when they the true economy. Now say na na econs. When go market study econs, ba be catch and say GDP. Inflation and those things for me. And yet the true economy. The economy ni say, under NDC, na ye tofu was saying. Under Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, the economic head of economic management team, no, ye tofu was saying. Under John Mahama, when we decide, chemicals na ye spray a foam, Emma no buy ra ewunu. Under John Dramani Mahama in 2016, now ye turn 28 Ghana cedis. And there, under Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, da economy no, ye turn 60 Ghana cedi. A difference of 32 Ghana cedis. Into within just 5 years or 6 years, almost 32 Ghana cedis and account. That is more than 100% increment. Into what mean say this economy is not in terrible state. Aside, we decide. Remember, in the friend, this yes. Let me go with this one. Cement under John Mahama. Now you're around 27, 28 Ghana cedis. And then you toss cement baby 58. You toss cement baby 60 Ghana cedi. Baby mpo you turn 61, 62. So you aware. Until now ama a dime boy hiring of houses or rooms escalate. Mebru ni nye adwuma nye. Ono so ese o high dine no tinim.
Yenafo ano sima.
O konya sika e wanfa e dia high dine no. So adi say nyina no, the youth keep on impoverishing. The youth keep on suffering. Remember those times under John Mahama, one sugar bag baako. Now you turn 170 Ghana cedis. 170 Ghana cedi. And the such sugar bag baako no. And then another don't go for the turn 410 Ghana cedis. 410 Ghana cedi. Wow, ko market me sure so you aware. Under John Mahama flour ye dey isam. Near turn 100 Ghana cedi per bag. And there you 440 Ghana cedis. When it true economy. Under John Mahama na fertilizer. You turn 75 Ghana cedi. And then you turn fertilizer 420 Ghana cedis. Until you see, you can't say economy. Me the manusi no. And about the books. Under this abine, even the books, it doesn't do what favor them. And a reality no so in favor one. Until me the man penny koye or amanonino. Eyenim guasima Ghana. And I think so one more handle Mampeninu. They have a lot of work to do. And they must do well to make sure say because so do say the soprano kind so do amanonia and found say me NDC ni and found say me CPP ni but ojina homa o man Ghana nti midinachi nti ogu yeni masia aka obi bia I cannot take myself out of it, so we must speak so that the handlers the likes of information minister, because also a part of those who manages him, foreign minister and any protocol no, they have a lot of work to do, and I think say they must do better. They are failing Ghana.
Meda sipi meba opposite them
Oh, you see, I just wanted to say most of what Minya Godwin Akano, some of it will harm in the yard, but you see, as a member of the CPP, and as an ordinary Ghanaian who has endured Nana Akufo-Addo and endured President John Mahama, I cannot sit here and let it. And someone as if said those times under President Mahama were good times. They were not good times. So I say what you are, it's our list now really, you just compared the lesser of two evils in a manner of speaking, not to say the president or President John Mahama is evil. But the Etienne say under President John Mahama, Ghana was also going through a certain very difficult period. And we all know the same thing President Mahama and me on the second term. No, I limited the discussion to a comparison between President Mahama and President John and President Akufo-Addo, because that is an exercise in mediocrity. Please. So to assume President Mahama just because President Akufo-Addo is underwater and President Mahama is treading water doesn't mean that we are not in water. You understand? We are still in water in the way we look at it.
Both of them are.
Just a to assume I said you have to good bomb to send. So it's please, I'm just saying, don't worry. When you compare President Mahama to President, don't do that comparison.
They think, NDC, when they were in power, there were certain things I went to Myanmar Ghana for I enjoy. I'm a wandering. Ghana for a sake woman. Sure. And they expect a different party buy.
That's NDC for expectation. Okay.
Put certain things in place. Saving Bona at the end, you bet to Mukrana, and yes, so huge. Emma Hochana and Nos.
Sure. Me too, I say, and I'm
a situation. I say the Omo year is the repetition of what they also came to.
No, they are condemning it, but they are not. Because if it was a repetition, then they would be enjoying it. Because you see, under President John Mahama, we were headed on a road to nowhere, just like we are under President Akufo-Addo. You understand? The American say, I am say, yeah, compare ourselves.
Yes, all these two parties. I mean,
the
third, fourth party in any day.
No, it is yours truly, the glorious CPP. Which one else? Mama Nunsi, Mr. The American say, please, me say, but the American question and say, President Akufo-Addo, say President John Mahama Moncroft. If you want to compare the presidency of President Akufo-Addo or President Mahama to something, compare it to the presidency of President Kwame Nkrumah under CPP. That is worth comparing to. But when you come and compare yourself to President Akufo-Addo or to President Mahama, it is an exercise in mediocrity, and we are tired of this mediocre performance.
Yes. Just a minute. You see, sometimes a catcher will say, "I soprano kasa ontiene." Onankasa kasa, bakwa tomsum. Wait. No problem. Bako adrowne won suonim. And bako dan suoneni. Hear me? That's what you said. And drowning of water or in water can never be the same as nipa na ebunu nsu. Hear me very well. Nti wankasa no. Nti wankasa wa admit say na na do dan ko Akufo-Addo aban no. Wa bo Ghana. Na say na obi ani. Yes, intinu you see, jamba so ti asene say you cannot progress in life if you have nothing to compare to. That is why we have the That's why. Don't worry. That's why we have what we call mentorship.
We have a record.
It encourages you and either tells you say, "Oh yade," and now why yade, and I say, "Oh yade." Yes. Man, this wa bemu. Me nka se niema bia ye totro.
Most things were bad.
Don't worry. You see, most things were bad then. And a bambi and a party begin as simple to catch the Ghana phone in our say. They have the men. They are best Ghana for sebre. Na niema na yeno. We were being insensitive to Ghanaians. Until they made specific promises say about exchange rate they will do better. And wait. Don't worry. And compare.
Okay.
Exchange rate they will do better.
We knew they couldn't.
Economy they will do better.
They couldn't.
Education they will do better.
We knew they couldn't.
Every sector of the economy. We come 2016 manifesto one. It's a what the best Ghanaians could do. And they say, boss now o say ye nintia ye sa buy ni fi yourself bra because you told us say you can do better no. Esi etimi compare say wetimi achieve and I went to me achieve. If today increment of goods and services happen, now me hear comparison. Now under John Mahama, go up by 20%. Now under Ben when so far, I go up by the same 20%. I cannot criticize them. But in this case, commodity biya na ekoso under John Mahama no. When they came, it has gone up more than 100%, 150, even 200%. So I have the cost. Say make a Ghana for say. As I buy from the MPP aban no, our council buy better than the NDC no. And then we're failing.
We agree with that position.
So what
we all know that.
Sanka NDC in the wa buy more. We would have done better than the promise that they gave the people, and they have failed the people.
That's a flawed logic.
Very important.
No, it is very important. Allow me.
Yeah. Sabasanka's NDC, more power. What would you have done differently?
You see,
in a certain situation,
such a what situation?
Those are no people. They have no ideas.
Maybe. When you they talk to you, I'm say we had a pandemic.
Yeah.
A pandemic where that's but a brass. Then another country oil near the if you want Russia, Ukraine, a also problem. Entina economy no ayabasa. It is a more NDC and more tesus in this situation.
They don't have any ideas.
These were difficult.
Don't worry.
You don't have any ideas.
Excellent question. We are going near team very well. One, okay, COVID asem and soprano allow me to talk. Don't interject.
But of course, I promise.
COVID. No problem. President Echo kind State of the Nation address. I catch the Ghana for say. So far, COVID was say I think around 10 billion. But okay, COVID is kind now boom yenyana. Yenya close to 32 billion. Until the NDC say we will put those monies into good use. Up to ne, out of 32. Don't worry, me and out of 32 billion, more spending about 10 billion. Ghana force come and account to us. Untimi account here. So what NDC would have done first is to do what we call transparency and accountability. We would have accounted to the people. Say na yenya. Na say na yedi sikana ede aye.
The moment na 8 years mutimi account
we did accounting. That is first one on COVID. And two, MPP are buying some more chair eduane and a reliefs. I'm a Ghana for. Intanka sikana yenya aye no. That money could have been able to give those reliefs without coming back to the people to collect them through taxes. Because omuma ye nsu and a light way you know. They turned and told us that we have to come and pay. And this abayanka Sasiko ya yeji Ghana for dimu no. Ye de ma wa ye mbeji bio.
Na mo ma e bibi free da. NDC time. If you give something free to Ghanaians.
You have told me say our time we didn't incur this thing. So
but at the time no na Dumso was there. And now come was opportunity to at least maybe there be to at least because you were comparing. That's why I'm also doing it. At that time I know Dumso hono. A lot of businesses were affected. First started see procure generators any other. All this one no nothing was done about your electricity.
Yes.
We still you still increased the electricity for us.
NDC and procure generators. Yes, generators were procured under Akufo buying. No problem. The NDC here and one John Mahama beba being one. Now your national grid were about 1,000 and something. John Mahama moving here for more than 2,000 megawatts.
At what cost?
No problem. You see, at the end, John Mahama na ama ene aban we catch and say we've had excess energy. Inti ne light no enjoy ya embu na ni left right center no. Enya aban we yo. Eye nhihia aban bi di gu akwan mu. Ntunim okọ parliament o say onya dia president bi atwam eya omoso so energy crisis na no. He will make sure he will let it be the thing of the past. And before God the man, na John Mahama be fi abengwa mu no. Now he has made doing so the thing of the past. Intin about we have excess powers. We have excess power. Into Mangasa Jatum said John Mahama did the right thing. Yanko under Russia and Ukraine. Medical catcher will say Russia and Ukraine is giving us windfall of about 100% of the crude. Ye tongako amanone. Nti NDC and Kayaba account yama 2. Panjama maybe my rain fee in Niema under NDC full of war cost up to $14. $140 per barrel.
Yeah.
I get him. And the NDC full of work was up to $140 a barrel. And so NDC Anton Fangu 50 Ghana cedis. To Fangu near 14 Ghana cedis. So it tells you how the NDC were managing the system. So they are on for burden and to Ghana for so. And then let me tell you, under Ukraine and Russia, full and do $140. The worst it went was $120. The worst acquired was $120. So how on earth will you sell fuel more than 50 barrels when under John Mahama a cost could do $140? It tells you how insensitive this government is and how sensitive John Dramani Mahama was.
Meda say yeah beko sanfo froso na mame share issues messages are man for ediaba na ye fa kakra enfem before we continue. I say please ask him for that all those prices he is mentioning when they came into power were the same prices in 2016 where now by Steven. I say prices now oh boy, you know, those times and when before when you came to power, no, were the prices the same as when you were living and what they bisano. Mami Biama, we free Mr. Tay Golf Estates tema. Mame, please, good afternoon. Hypocrisy is what is killing we Ghanaians because if former President Mahama secured a loan of $90 million to complete the sea defense wall started by former President Kufuor, but failed to complete the work of the work. The NDC and Honorable Jifa Gomashi are not saying anything about what the loan secured by former President Mahama used for. Please tell the NDC man at your studio that when NDC was leaving office in 2016, the dollar was 4 cedis, 20 pesos, and petrol was 18 Ghana cedis. So he should stop his lies, Mr. Tay and Odiwe Ebaye. Mystic warned that way from Sawoma Adwaji, the Nanado government led that the government is an epitome of confusion, corruption, nepotism, and insensitivity. Nanado lied in opposition and continued to lie as president, and the center cannot hold. Bibia aye nyama. In Shraba and Nel Kashama constituency, Ghana will soon bounce back with a big style with the e-levy that has been passed as a law by the president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo. No more IMF, more infrastructure development from the e-levy coming soon, and we need the authority to still continue to educate the good people of Ghana to understand it more. Long live Commander Nana Lloyd. Greetings to Odenaho Nana Kweku Apia and Odiabano. I'll say a jabata the way for Suhum Akoti and I'll say Nana Akufo-Addo is just a problem for Ghanaians. There is nothing good left in this man for us to benefit. We pray 2024 come fast for us to throw the elephant into the bush. Happy birthday to Ivan Chei Innocent. A jabata Suhum Akoti and Odiwe Efi Baye. Senior engineer Odai Laye of Crow and Honorable Clifford Mate Kole of Teshi Ford School are the best material that can win the MP seat for NPP. Abele Edway Efinungwa and Ode Ebaye. Positive change. Madina, President Akufo-Addo, aka King Agokoli, will never admit his shambolic performance as president. He was all over social media and all over the place blaming President Mahama recklessly. Even when goods and services were far more less expensive, he promised heaven on earth only to deliver this abysmal performance and still have the audacity to call himself competent. Positive change. Edway Efrimadina. Hi, BMZ1. Please, my plea to Ministry of Finance is to organize a whole day conference as soon as possible with the reps of all the media across the country on e-levy, government flagship programs, and how all the money borrowed are utilized. Allow the media to ask all the questions so that the media, being the mouthpiece of the general public, will then educate us. Otherwise, the propagandists will continue to poison the minds of innocent Ghanaians with distortions, lies, and misinformation. The word to a wise Michael Edwefi Ashalaja and Ode Ebai. Mami Soja, thank you for the good work. Let's support e-levy because it is better than IMF. Regards to Professor Christopher Ameyakumfi, incoming national NPP chairman, and Mr. Boache Jako, former energy minister, Womensa Pilasu, and Edwefi Bai. Enoch Edwefi Asamankese. It seems we are being too hypocritical in this country. Imagine President John Mahama was the president and fuel price up like this. Dollar up, goods and services keep on increasing day in, day out. Imagine what would have happened in this country. But what are we seeing today? NPP, never again. Greetings to Madi Jibril and Chairman Ibrahim Sunday of Asamankese. Mamenfa we and sorry so Eric Oku Bwedi Patriotic Voices and now the free Bichim and also special greetings to Honorable MC and the MP for Tano South Municipal. By their hard work now Bichim Town roads are being constructed. Not only that, but Bichim Akomadan Road as well as Dema Asioso 1. Now we have seen the sign of breaking the 8 in a crowd. Emmanuel Kwakuya Moa and now no do we have an Osimami Soja. Good afternoon. Please help me to ask desperate former president that what does he and his NDC party want from Ghanaians? 2, what is his alternative policies to this government? 3, I want to know why they were voted out of power. It's way some of the messages are Oman for a day a buy a quick one young and then Passia can CPP asem CPP now no more honor more metis say nipa me and son ya interdicted woman yes yeah interdiction and suspension. What is the difference? Interdiction and the suspension.
I don't have the meaning on top of my head, you know, frankly.
But you can good microphone, ma'am.
Yeah, now me say interdiction be to set aside. Please Google it for me, okay? Interdiction. Now, my listener know the correct, accurate.
Okay. Yeah, this is CPP ama yokono empenyufo mienu miensa.
Yeah.
Yes, say woman konko tena fie. Ede en woman aye nim. Ene ensem bebre so bo ahodo pi ene ede abo woman na say see ya. A whole director of communications of the Convention People's Party. Ewa idea. We mean kofre obia. Ono abedwedwam no akyerɛkyerɛ me. Wɔn tro krata e de interdictates anipa empanyufo miensan ya. Wɔn da party no ano no. Mo kro ya mose musiesie party no. Afa de ba ne san e na empanyufo a mo ne wɔn nyina ka bom apagya party na moato nsade afra youth na youth nso wɔn ko ado no ma baba join no. Afa mo pam wɔn. What is happening in the CPP? Soprano.
Oba me da bebre for the opportunity. Na me chia CPP fo nyina. Na me boy Rad Empire say Obama Holy Spirit na beka me ho na ma answer question we yi. Sensitive mind pa.
Very very.
Na oba sometimes no say unamu bu na ye toa eno so na dompe no e ho itimi ejeje ke when you interdiction no.
Say I say ekuro e beto ho foforo na wan hwe me a itimi da ne kisikuro.
Okay. Enti oba boni nim de tie ne say on I'm say Friday April 1st. And CPP we are April 1st Friday April 1st 2022 and Central Committee of the Convention People's Party emergency meeting until we emergency meeting no and at the emergency meeting no one of the outcomes no was say a Central Committee are interdicted nipa miensa ewo party nim da nipa miensa no first vice chairman a friend of Onzi Kwame Nkrumah and the second person general secretary of the CPP Nanaya Jantua and the third person na interdicting national youth organizer in the person of Osei Kofi Akwa for
Omunyina me banana ya jantoa bone ben wo ye we Onzi Nkrumah bone ben no ye na fe ye no sama me
yeah the tia ni say Onzi let me back up a bit na me my background kakra ti the tia ni say ye to CPP a constitution no ye say ekoto aba e was say chairman and leader no that particular position no it's a national leadership position no and as American say national executives position no we are 9, but chairman and leader no kwano also we 50% plus 1 vote, so 50% or more. Into election in August 2020 at the height of COVID. And at that time no, yes I ade bi na unprecedented na be see that. Instead say na normally in Kenya be kwa Congress e wo ba bi fa akono. election no region by region because of COVID protocols. Enti ekowie no na the odi first for chairman and leader no. Na akosia Frimpoma Sapon Kumankuma. Obiti the odi second Hajia Hamdatu by about 248 votes. Which was about, let's say, 40 nani votes now about 43% plus.
Okay.
The winner no. Na 43% plus, na 50% plus 1. However, Council of Elders no any interim management committee na interim management IMC now handle election no. Because there was another court case which led to the election involving Kabila and Hamdatu and Kabila free CPP. Echo joining NPP, but I don't want to go that far back. Enti omo hold do elections no. That is the IMC and the Council of Elders no. They decided say because of the extraordinary circumstances no, we should go ahead and now they do first no. Yemfama by simple majority no onye chairman and leader. And indeed Haji Hamdatu Audi second no. Eba out Emma statement say or support Saturday no.
Okay.
Inti Haji Hamdatu did not contest or insist on a second round or a second round for a moment first and second no. And a party no ye koyenim and ye juma. Inti around October last year 2021 and ye wo penyi bi wo party no ye member ye friend no Isaac Kweku Anan. Oko court say on tiasie say enipa nana hema from nana Frimpoma Sapon Kumankuma chairman and leader no when ya 50+1 na party no ema no chairman and leader into the party ni court and a suit number J that is J for George J for John 1315/21 suit number JJ that's J for George J for John 1315/21. So, and what they call court. And a up and down, up and down. And a council of elders, no, ever intervene. But the point is, who are the council of elders? It's very briefly, no, according to your constitution, no, or say, there shall be a council of elders which shall be composed of the following former ministers, deputy ministers. Let me go down, or say functions. The Council of Elders shall have the following functions and responsibilities. Act as arbitrators and mediators in disputes among the leadership of the party. And just a assemble to make generally so. In the Council of Elders, no, Echo Openi Isaac Kwekwana. Eka chen say, o court case, no, a chain answer saying, Nien can if ye. And o mobile fee, ebe kan ye. Eti asama eno munya antiase Isaac Kwekwana any council of elders of CPP for no enya antiase ena omo call court actual judge say penyin judge
yes asem na wie
eti they want to withdraw eti judge no consent judgment consent judgment no to the best of my understanding lawyer for mama tiase no you cannot even appeal it so atiase but yempenyin for no say CPP no a party bi a yempenyin for party ampenyin for na chichire party no enti esimpenyin for na so and omo de be afie and yenya consent judgment no enti consent judgment no was given on a dated January 17th 2022 from the court January 17th 2022 enti February 22 2022 and Council of Elders actual letter about the national leadership of the Convention People's Party, or say, dear comrades, RE terms of settlement, suit number GJ 1315/21. A brief intermediary, quickly.
Okay.
Or say, please refer to the terms of settlement of the above stated court suit. Copy attached. Or say in second paragraph, in fulfillment of the court ruling, the Council of Elders hereby directs. I want you to take note of that operative word. Directs the national leadership to convene a meeting of the Central Committee by latest 10th March 2022 to discuss without fail implementation of the terms. Paragraph 3. Four paragraphs. Or say for the avoidance of doubt, the Central Committee shall draw an organizational program with timelines leading to elections from the polling stations to the constituencies, regions, and national elections, National Delegates Congress.
Last minute, so can be crowd has a mobile organization.
Precisely. It was because of but I mean and stay focused. So and or say paragraph 4 no. Or say it is expected that all members shall commit themselves to implementing the court ruling. In this regard, the council will apply appropriate sanctions to hearing members as per section 2.4 of the court judgment. Court judgment no has say section 2.4 of the court judgment no say both plaintiff that is Isaac Kwekwanan and the defendant CPP represented by the Council of Elders agree that strict sanctions be applied to hearing members and leadership by the Council of Elders without fear or favor. Okay, from consent judgment we need the ruling now a free high court no no and chairman and leader a free meeting on March the 7th. So I say at the meeting no one key item here no and they say a best satisfied condition in the consent judgment with regards to reorganizing the party from the polling station to the choice of a presidential candidate, flag bearer, by December 31st, 2022. A very important December 31st, 2022 deadline. This is because according to CPP constitution, the party should be ready for elections when we are in opposition. Then we should have elected all our national officers and be ready for the next presidential election 2 years before the presidential election, which is at the end of 2022. Constitutional. The Central Committee wants to be acting constitutionally as per the CPP constitution. And a judgment, consent judgment now, a free high court, compels us to go by the constitution. No. Okay, and constitution on the election. Consent judgment. One key factor. A plaintiff in the TSS or the we are no. And they say you behold polling station elections all the way to the choice of a flag bearer 2 years before the presidential election. Yes, in Ghana.
So the court order was compelling you
to do what is already constitutional.
To see to the elections.
Yes.
2 clear years to the national election.
Precisely.
Okay. As stated by the constitution.
Anyway.
For any opposition.
Sure,
party.
because now Council of Elders, if I say repeatedly normal court, and it's always concerning our elections. Until let's do it well once and for all. Now, by the way, say choose new officers this year now. A chance. I mean, I prepare ye pa. But more because most of the time, you choose officers, election year with a few months to go. But and your campaign. But the meaning about Mecca say, see yet constitution per se na. That means he said one more national officers is it would in fact from constituency regions to national officers will be a better years so by 2 years because almost to obey current executive August 2024. And some of the current executive say
August 2020.
Forgive me, August 2020.
Okay.
Forgive me, 2 years ago, August 2020. Any current executive Some of them, I don't want to mention names, but some of them are opposed to this court judgment. It's because almost say election 4 years and they have one mandate until the August 2024. That is actually correct. But say the constitution it don't change. Say ready before 2 years before election ni etie wo mo mpa na asem na ye beto aba national officers August 2024 and the CPP will be in the same situation. So we want to do what is constitutional and what is also by way of the court judgment. And that is the position that the Central Committee has taken. And I communicate to them. I communicated to Ghana for I can say polling station elections. You be June 1st to June 30th. You be polling station electoral area. Now July 1st to July 31st. You be constituency elections. August 1st to August 31st. You be regional elections. After September, October. Near national elections. That's October 1st to October 31st. And Tiwa won't current executive Nasimbiano 6 months time from now, you can run against that person until you should start preparing. And then December, ne aye flag bearer ne choose a flag bearer aye we nyina wie 2 clean years before you ba to President Akufo-Addo every so at the ballot box. Okay, enti Central Committee ade we say e de to honum. Enti ye tie no ye honum saa na March 23rd yenya case say obi the CPP court ebiem and you say oh now why no the CPP court ye kwahwe ye no na eye comrade Nana Ya Jantua General Secretary. Wow. Mami reading a court case now or they call 23rd March 2022 no or say motion on notice for leave to set aside or withdraw terms of settlement endorsed on behalf of the defendant, that is Kweku Anna case no on grounds of lack of capacity pursuant to the inherent jurisdiction of the court. Would be chimwa ni tietia ne say case na Council of Elders in Penyifo akoyi abefie asolve abesiesie no Nana Ya e de court but mamin kinkan chiro enti wo back case na mu na tietia mamin kan say affidavit of support or say I Nana Ya Echempem Jantua, resident at number 20 Kari Anna Court, Community 20 Sakumono Tema, in the Greater Accra region of the Republic of Ghana, make oath and say as follows: 1. That I am the deponent herein and the General Secretary of the defendant party herein. 2. That I have the consent and authorization of the Functional Executive Committee. Please let me do that again. Point number 2. Or say that I have the consent and the authorization of the Functional Executive Committee of the defendant, that is the CPP, to depose the following facts at the Odia Court. There's a basic case, no. Ye case na ye DIC in Cheno. Ye sign famra because Nana Hemanya 50% plus 1. That is essentially what she's saying. Is a young court reverse. Okay, enti yes ano. Ena chairman and leader. A fair emergency Central Committee meeting on April the 1st. And at the Central Committee meeting, no, and a meeting Central Committee essay, the Nana Ya our court case we know a indirect breach of a case na yes, what from paper no a indirect breach of the terms of settlement, especially clause 2 subsection 4. I see both plaintiff and defendant agree that strict sanctions be applied to hearing members and the leadership by the Council of Elders without fear or favor. In other words, now action na Nana Ya taking no, it's putting us in contempt of the consent judgment. Obadi America notice here. In Penyifo akoyi case every court, high court, am a consent judgment no. Nana Ya akọ court is wo kwa akoyi every ho, which is number 1 is in contempt of the consent judgment no. Say ma obi ama me this table so dey we ni enko for. That's number 1. But number 2 enso so ne say sa case na Nana Ya de court no. One can't show bia. Because one can't show bia. One can't share Central Committee. Said we won't mean take such a big step without informing, say, the chairman and the leader and the Central Committee. According to Nana Ya Jantuano, she got permission from the Functional Executive Committee. Who is the Functional Executive Committee? The CPP does not recognize in its constitution such a creature as the Functional Executive Committee.
What do you have instead?
Well, we don't have the Functional Executive Committee. Okay. We have the Central Committee.
No, when you bring the elected executives together,
you call them the National Executive. It is led by the chairman and leader.
So you have
no. This case,
don't call them
Functional Executive.
How do you call them?
We call them the National Executive.
National.
But the person me chira woni say National Executive no year 9. The order ni no, the chairman and leader. Case we no Nana Ya de court no. Was we permission and authorization, consent and authorization from the Functional Executive Committee. There is no Functional Executive Committee mentioned in the CPP Constitution. Okay. There is the Central Committee. And I'm saying, say, the Central Committee is not aware of the court case by Nana Ya Jantua. She has done this surreptitiously and clandestinely on the blind side of the Council of Central Committee. We cannot tolerate this. Obusami say, build a party, no. and I then I said you move no party no ye the bandage achechire dompe no etnetene na ye keke and na wote no enye say bia ye bubu party no
enti we mo communicate to them no how did they receive it how are they
well imitie nana ya ewo Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and I was say we cannot remove her unless with 2/3 majority. But the point is that nobody has removed Nanaya Jantwa. Nanaya Jantwa is the General Secretary of the Convention People's Party, albeit interdicted. Says an interdiction, a beginning of disciplinary process. So no share kukuem court without.
So after this, you will invite her and the others.
That is the next step. So we share your CPP Constitution, so we share Article 112 Clause F, and I'll read it to you briefly. So I say Article 112F no. Mebo. I say yeah. Article 112 no. Under Chapter 12 Party Discipline. Article 112F say the Central Committee may interdict any member of the party until the matter is investigated and disposed of by the disciplinary committee. And you are interdicting the keke. Yampam Nanaya. We all love Nanaya. Why do we want to kick her out? But she has to stay in line. She cannot take actions and follow the procedure. There is protocols. So I say, no meeting no GBC say or see a unity. Say you remove no. That has never been the desire or the case for anybody. So I say, CPP Constitution Article 82 discusses the removal of the national office holders. 82A say an elected national officer may be suspended from office by 2/3 majority of the Central Committee if the latter Central Committee deems it fit in the supreme interest of the party to do so. But that's not what we are doing. We are simply calling them to order. Oba TMA can't smash or.
And the Abase Biananaya call back to court to withdraw. We know the corner.
Well, by the way, Nanaya is in contempt of court. In the Enra or court. By the way, Ubusamen, Onzi and Croman so no the case echo court. Nidia no court. Says SMBC ya no so the court.
And the third one.
And the Oseko Fiakwa de or no one fan court. But the Etienne say or no dear or see on she has no regard for the bogus ruling. Say high court no judge ni bogus. Na or no say a council of elders. Now according to Oseko Fiakwa no watch statements were published on platforms so I can party headquarters with eyewitnesses near I don't know. Or say council of elders no they are only advisory. Now see people no esho more no new executive in the council of state e can omo pa no mbefa no can chair council of state including Professor Nino Edowo, former general secretary of CPP say so no say Kofi Akwa be share omo our party headquarters or the mfia obetwa omachi. I'm telling you this. Serious? I've been saying this repeatedly. It is true because there's evidence.
Wow.
What you are saying, we couldn't tolerate this. We had to take action. Now, party no your constitution. What problem with the party no? You don't just get up and go to court. You have to exhaust the party protocols addressing telling you how to seek redress in the party. Sorry, now for the precope any political party CPP. We are member now the court. We will sanction you as per the party constitution.
So how is Nana Yajantua there was something in council say or more person unify party but that is not the case. But what about the other two no Onzi ne
Onzi Nkrumah so Onzi so the Echo court which violated the terms of settlement.
It was no sir interdiction by and how is he also taking it?
Well the point is say Onzi no for a long time, I was since I'll be a first vice president, Ote Abrochi, Ote London.
Oh, okay.
So I say, in Tisanka, he's just talking a lot on platforms with respect to Onzin. Yes, maybe American is I anybody, but he's not in the country. Party Nikrano, Yenya petition says, I want to mean Jumana on Fantuana Ubi Emmeye. And Onzin so dear, into Amunaya interdicted. So enti yenka say bia yakwa yi nana yaje but na me ka say contempt no omode aye against settlement no yeah adwuma enti enra nana yaje antoa Kofi Akwa Hajia Futa ono so national women's organizer Moses Yiri Mambo or national youth organizer omo mien omo sanko former bo omudi nyina omo ko high court in support of on the case no omudru hon man ya ma contempt letters.
Wow.
Until April 12th, Omoko High Court ye kodi omasem for contempt. Ever since yesterday, my fasting say bomb paye mo omo say I am inform to prison because omo ye ni papa am pa omasem pa so huntim paye ye bono say April 12 omo kwa o say kofi ana o kan kire judge ni say ni case ni bogus wo ho but still no me bomb paye ma no say judge ni no more fanning to prison. One fanning to prison. It's a same no. Nobody has expelled Nana Yar'Adua from the party. She is still the general secretary of the party, albeit interdicted.
Interdiction.
Thank you.
Godwin. There's a situation going on in the CPP. Do you think it's good for the party? Looking at the current state, and said the economy, a third force party, me Liberal Socialist Party, me ba mababe wusum. Is it good for the party? Is it healthy?
Oh, to be frank with you, as for discipline there, as association, as I say, be a discipline. Now you abide by their ekayeng a boom. Because untimen frɛ Catholic. Now ye Pentecost niema.
Baby emfa.
Untimen frɛ Pentecost. Now ye Assemblies of God niema. Nti miri bia no before obedom ekuo bia no. Na onim ekuo no emra. Ade a ye ene emra, ade a ye den yenye. Nti me dey about disciplinary matters. Obi onim bia nim how some of us our position on discipline is. Sometimes about issues of this nature, I don't allow people to do otherwise. But you see, me small issue and maybe a CPP issue now find how to go about it. I'm a little confused because the problem from the word go, Ninani indicates even as a party, no, ebu omo constitution eso. In a sense that the clauses of the constitution indicate say. Ye two about we are. As I say, we need the benya 50+1. Said the year 1992 constitution indicating. In 1992 constitution, maybe ye inconsistent with 1992 constitution. Null and void. So I think say, I'm picking direct from the 1992 constitution. So the question will be that, dude, as a party, war any remedy that in instances like this, how I say handle. And now I said, won't need, but because at the NEC, they have to do what we call interim, so they have to find ad hoc solution to rate another. That is my question. Because definitely, and you be ever sided with that decision. But on no case, no, see nipa no yet second no, I agree there. Say one year is but that person alone for me cannot agree because any interested citizen, CPP Nibiano would definitely have direct interest in the election. Be it a candidate or person with a membership card. Until I think say they should have gone beyond that individual, and not because the person is just the direct contender. Until you will be so no say yo magia tumana wafanesa. Then na mrano esie. That is my first worry about it. Until and two, who should there Jantua Ediakona. Reading it, I am a little confused about how contempt it is. Okay. Because their consent judgment now what the CPP Jantua is just trying to go back to challenge
the court,
the decision
of the court.
Say, Dudu and say first ninyano per omo constitution wenya.
Okay.
So we cannot, let me say, step side the constitution because or see, I think where is it? Yes, an order for the declaration that the defendant constitution mandate it declare only a candidate who obtains over 50%. I get him. So that's what he's trying to, and I think he had that mandate because as at that time, na ogusu holding
but sir stating so say in conjunction with
yes, that's where I'll come. Okay. So no much emphasis on contempt and drawing much reference to the consent aspect. Until I may taking it one by one. But you see, as at that time and now putting up the application, now or a general secretary of the MPP.
Yeah.
Of the CPP, or a key stakeholder, or what the opportunity to challenge the decision.
But what
or to seek
central
redress
committee or central
no, that is that
because maybe even though you have a genuine consent
sure.
I mean, but as a bought they have to support
so you. I am only handling the issue, make catch one after the other.
Okay.
The issue of consent on the functional executive, you know. Metiha a soprano, director of communication of CP, and I met one and I say one secure the consent of the functional executive.
There's no functional
executive.
Don't worry, no problem.
Committee.
But one secure obibia consent. Mim Gina soprano assembly sunkwa emfembu nana janto afọ. Because per document I the man,
she's not guilty of.
No. Per document I the man, no answer that, you know. Actually, say or secure the consent. Okay. So until say metie fi na no na obe admit say and pass a man secure the consent of the committee you are making reference to. No, I will not say anything about that
please,
because it's your word. It's your word against
the constitution. It's not my word.
No.
I'm telling you, there's no functional executive. Just recognize that fact.
There's no. You and I are not arguing. What I'm saying is that my emphasis is on the consent.
I'm saying sir, there's no functional executive.
That one,
that creature does not exist.
No,
in the PPP
I understand you.
It won't mean man of power and authorization.
But bear in mind,
because
say
it is non-existent.
But bear in mind, say the opese functional executive. Now, cultural executive committee. Sometimes the court will even allow you to make amends. No, I'm not.
Bet me it's typographical.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes I can allow you to even do the amends. That's not what I'm saying. No, sometimes
I refuse to say typographical.
No problem. But see, the more important aspect of it is consent. And I'm better make one. Let me just say.
But the consent from where? I'm saying, sir, there is no functional executive, so they cannot give consent.
And I'm saying, sir,
it does not precisely.
And I could mean say she meant central.
That is all what I'm saying. That's all what I'm saying.
It could mean say she meant central committee or the national executive.
Because even in the
functional executive.
Hold on. What I'm trying to say.
But do you think
that Nana Ya's document too? This document is from the High Court of Ghana. This is the High Court. They have not made a mistake. Every T that is crossed and every I that is dotted, it is real. Would you want ground back prison content?
No, I know. You see, me too. The can say. Let me cite example for the NDC. So me try craft and me try national.
Do not speculate.
Now me can national executives, which I wanted to say fake functional executive committee. Sometimes, as you said,
you are pardoned.
You are pardoned to state the right thing that you want to state. Where it will be the bone of contention is whether it indeed you seek a certain committee's consent or not. And I make sure say on the consent aspect, from your end, also one seek consent. I don't want to be good.
Anyway, with this one, can Nanaya go back to court to go and make a correction?
What Nanaya should do is withdraw this case and come to the party and use in-house strategies contained in the CPP strategy to seek redress.
Okay.
Before she goes to court and
whether functional whatever.
Yes.
And I'm
that is it.
Court and
no problem. That is it.
But even more than that, Nanaya Wandene or your general secretary of the Convention People's Party, operating under Constitution. She swore an oath. She is bound by the oath. We are holding her to her sworn deposition.
Don't worry,
the oath now we're taking. Or pursue or taking actions like this on behalf of the CPP. Also,
my last point, which, as I said, your party has said we are only trying to comment about it. You see,
you should join the CPP.
I am foreseeing
seriousness,
some kind of trouble awaiting the CPP. You see, the trouble is that already mature say I'm for discipline. But the mechanic say, you see, my last election I'm here in 2020. Constitution it say every executive might have a tenure of 4 years. Yeah. And then more election this year. Yeah. I can tell you that
is the constitutional way, incidentally.
I can tell you that more.
I said the 4 years.
4 years you see more here. They're likely
are very valuable. And the CPP members around the country are listening. In fact, I'm very gratified at the interest shown by Ghanaians and the phone calls I'm getting with regards to this case. The CPP is poised for victory. As some air cost way a party, it will not break us up. It will make us strong.
We don't even want to
win the
break.
election. But constitution of the CPP, in its wisdom, founding fathers, I say, I am ready 2 years to the time. That is important. We are expecting members of the party to sacrifice in the interest of the CPP.
So the current executives, are they eligible to vie for any?
But of course,
sure.
October, no, yes, according to.
But 4 years now, so I didn't hear.
About in the interest of the party. Now we could discuss this back and forth. Okay. I can say 4 years now. Yes, say I am on 2 years before.
The 4 years, but so near 2024. It will go against the party. It's when no year a decision now. Party a national executive committee no meba I take it.
Yeah, elders no. So one night at the airport court say Nana Hima chairman and leader enya 50+1.
Oh, okay.
So and the cover case we nyina buy. But council of elders actually in be fie na omo ka say you brave fie no. And akwaku smart me ya be fie, but one of the reasons in so a CPP constitution no e ka say yenye no. And it's a term bia no ya to buy officers in the election year, sometimes with 2 or 3
and
months
it goes
ago,
against the party.
We tell you to be organized. And the CPP constitution, no, I can say, Munya say, 2 clear years. Now more than 2 years now,
I campaign, yeah.
But me see a Godwin. And now, say, one way or the other, I wasn't there. But the situation is that, say, one more year, 2 among Abamo, current executive, 2020, more 4-year mandate, I bet end 2024. Now, whether or not they will agree, say, 4 years, and 2 years, and only a whole another story.
That is it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going.
I know na friend I'm better na so.
That's what we feel say a constitutional. I also feel that all the members, the current executive, they are patriots of Ghana and they love the CPP to death and they will make personal sacrifices for the CPP.
You see, the same constitution. Mama yenye choose and pick. The same constitution say Munye election 2 years, 2 clear years. Wait. Oh,
elections no. Akoye Basana end this 2 years, 2 years. Court cases.
No problem. Constitution. We must all hold to our constitution. Constitution say more elected 2 clear years to the general election. The same constitution says me avail me una to Obama me. Me 4 years tenure of office. The same constitution. The American Chon say. What I am foreseeing is the likelihood that some executives will sue the party after this. It is a jaw discussion.
Yeah.
Table and interdiction and fight here because the same constitution also will say as I say obi obey chairman and 50+1 when ya and you did and I'm moving to my church already from the word go. The party itself isn't following the constitution. But in the case, I'm thinking it is favoring you. You want to hold on to it. So let me tell you, the NDC, we also have the same portion that states that we must have our election 2 clear years to the general when we are in opposition. But you see, we have made provisions for NEC that at the time I think it's a gentleman meeting that deadline. They have given NEC the powers to be able to do that kind of amendment because that is the highest decision body. Are you getting me? And then, maybe someone say, do you have any sub laws or act aside the constitution? Somebody's the powers. Say in an instant where due to some unforeseen circumstances, you are not able to go by the time because time is different from say what about my time say what be time so where yentimi time in do you need to get me atuaba. People who understand say we are not well prepared at the years yet to aba. They understand by nyasa makoto aba makako jina aseska atumi swaba 4 years. They are telling me that I'm going for 2 years. So I only advise
but it will come. Meba. Right now no the way CPP is going then current executive say now then there's a polling station election number any idea they will help conduct those elections.
Personally I think that's a brilliant idea. And I wouldn't be surprised if the elders and the power brokers in the party decide to do that. But I think
that should be the right thing.
The intent of the consent judgment and the intent of the constitution also be considered into it. Like you are saying, we see any George, that's what we are doing. Please remember, it's not that we are not talking. All we are saying is that number one, Oseko Fiakwa cannot, say the High Court, ruling is bogus, and he cannot threaten interdiction. No one. And I may explain. Oseko Fiakwa is interdicted because of his contempt.
And he's not the only person.
He's not the only person. Only Kwame Nkrumah is interdicted because he has flouted the consent judgment, and Anaya Jantwa is interdicted because of this court case which is a direct affront and in contempt of the court ruling.
And tell me, what is the contempt of the ruling? Because he's also invoking certain aspects. Say, my constitution say, and say 50+1. So she's not in agreement with the consent judgment. That is all. That is the problem. That at least you can also go there.
Until you are basing on that, your refusal to seek the consent of the
city. If that is the case, then stand on there. But me, I don't agree with the contempt aspect.
Now with the Peace FM ding, Akwa allegation, despite it's not going to be happy. Yes, but now
but at least there's some coming.
Sure. We agree with
Central Committee. Okay.
It is the concern that it's the concern that I'm saying that for here I will not sit and say the Okan and Yanukari. I will also try say me follow Nanaya Jantwa because I follow her a lot. I won't say maybe within this week. So nya akwenya that's the way back. I just want to hear say whether Oseke consent and I was seeking consent. That is one. Two, whether she really meant national where is the
functional or whatever.
Whether she really meant functional executive committee or central committee.
Or
but that one executive. Yes, but that one I have told you say that one is
neither nor here.
Yes, that one it doesn't hold any water. That one the error she can change
Madam was say na we dey ba sorry ya fe na NPP wo mo ayi wo muti e wa ha say na me ko bi ni man ka bi dey gwa ankokora ke mfa so na we how many minutes kwa na me dey e be ma
me na god in here me na ga friend William Sangbo wa only Sangbo wa only Sangbo and
was I late poto say
me o obi na so ba na nipa na ntimi amma nti baby a me wo no ese me drive na me bedo but because Neat FM na ya Peace FM ni Neat FM there ese me ba so to me say anything na ma ba no because station there wa only me say party no will respect man
taking their 4 minutes
so
it for 2 minutes be na wrap ya be
CPP for yes me chia me party penny for any nana come ya baby o wa wi bia me chia let me constituency for delegate nya me chia mo election no munim say mrena so Montoma me ne yanko yenim first vice na na minia say CPP friends mo party no CPP
glorious
you tell your person who prophesying the bia ozu de bia mu kokot
the friend Aqua Eddie Aqua or see for the past 12 to 14 years there be obebe CPP bia na yon to kwent very sad
enti no na ye wo mu no say munya botre na de bia me kan say unya ye obi opanyin a ewo senior yede ne fa kwan so enti the moment a obi abeye mu party chairman no nema ne bo ho a ese musu mu benya botre kakra the same way nso se unya beye party chairman na ahoade ne bia bedu sema ewo senior wo so beye dey obeyusu no because se peace bebe fia afripanyi na se peace ni be chede a na fi omo wase no so to say enti CPP mu party no na nka mu ye the third force.
Yeah, that's the third force.
Say mama friends UGM gum ni UGM
or the who's your jare o be fire who's your jare
e be pa mo so they say because say if you ada bia ntonkwa jam de din dis ana e ya na afie no enko ne e bad development aboa sa afie no omutimi nye contribution enye kambom nye contribution kan say ye the sponsor your party monso ye nya ya nim say party building a party no nya resources na resources na de bia muku na mini pe kra mo former MZM one of BBB dede na mini ya fine pa na CPP na but and net there baby CPP abedu idie I think say e sheda anye attractive nti mesremo say mumfa onuando enye djuma no MPP yen there aban there
obi abetu ama CPP fo akora mu betu ama ye but ye person musumu party no enluku friends say good kakra in the eyes of the public say ye former president na ye first president the party a onanti mo abedu emia Ghana ya bedu na nka party no aye attractive kakra sene be ya going forward no ye nyina be hu say CPP for ba be try NDC na NDC egu but mungu NDC no mummyamuni ambedi egu NDC no because omu resources nyina ya mu dia enti munji mu ade munye kambom na munji mu resources nyina enfri mu
Ewusia for hani ade dwumade nyina yade mo esie aseda kase ankoma bedwafo eneme ne wo mo esi nkonya Sylvester Sapon Soprano Director of Communications of the CPP sanso ena Godwin Mahama NDC Communications team member echekra ena William Sambo ono so eba ede kakra bi ebesoso emaye aseda enkoma production crew Jordan Adumak Jeros Ajma Frema Banko na ya Safo wo madaroma no mbo michidom awiei ewa ha Madam nyina se medi ede MAAME BIAMAH AKWAFO betimi afra me BIAMZI 1 me sorry soe Ola Michael ebeje adwaje entata ede yen akofie makramo Manchester ki no su manguru you know wa kwedeke when you show